Hello, the hell? Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Tuesday show. My name is James Chen. I've got Thumbnail Dave over here and Mr. Tubaware. How you guys doing?
Well, well, well.
Well, well, well.
I'm doing great. What's new with me? Oh yeah, it's Hanukkah. Happy Hanukkah to everybody who celebrates Hanukkah. How about you, Tupperware?
Well, I'm sitting over here upset because for the 10th year in a row, you didn't invite me to Hanukkah dinner celebration. So,
Well, you
thanks.
remember how it went when you came for Pesach, don't you? Don't you remember how that went? And
That
just
was
how?
that. I had a great time. I don't know about everyone else,
Are you
but
sure
I
you
had a
had a
great
great
time.
time? Do you
Yeah,
remember whether you had a great
I have
time
no
or not?
idea what you're even talking about.
Okay, well, that's a
Uh,
great segue into the game and show that we have today. We're going to be talking about Street Fighter V, and Luke will be talking about Happy Chaos and Guilty Gear Strive, as you can see outside. We have guest Crofts. That's going to be cool. We'll have a conversation. We have a 5-5 matchup that we'll get to. Boy, that's a topic. The next one right there. And then we'll talk about Angel or Angel, and then also several other characters that have been shown off in other games. But let's start by talking about Street Fighter V and Luke.
Luke. Yes, so Luke has been released. The final DLC of Street Fighter V, supposedly. And interesting character. Interesting character. Would any early impressions to jump out of you, or shall I start, or what do you
that
guys?
boy got some Popeye forearms.
Dude, he's got tick forearms. His
They are.
forearms look to me
They
like
make
they're
no
ticks that are
sense.
engorged on my blood. I can see his forearms sitting just outside of my own forearms, just sucking my blood. Ugh,
And he
they're
has
so
the
gross.
ugliest jump animation I've ever seen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's
Other
pretty
than that,
gnarly.
his gameplay seems cool. He seems interesting.
So I spent about an hour, maybe a little longer than that, playing with him just before the show started. I went all through his moves in training mode, and I saw like what was plus and not, and like what the likely strategies are, I guess. And I did the training, the trials as well. And I'll have you know that I nailed all 10 of those trials, and I got every single one of them right on the first try of the times that I got them right.
Are you being honest right now?
Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
completely
Oh, yeah,
factual
yeah,
statement.
yeah.
All
Absolutely,
right.
dude. He got him right on the first time. He got him right.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct.
All right.
I nailed it. Look,
Humans.
he
Humans.
Yeah.
Humans.
I think he has a lot of interesting stuff. I think just to talk about his sort of his look, he looks, better in person. I think I would say, as is often the case, I guess. But he looks to me like they made a character that is intended to mirror real moves that you might actually see a person do in like an
Right.
MMA match. And that makes sense. Like people when they throw punches are not like doing the same kind of attacks typically that you'll see like other Street Fighter characters doing weird stuff.
Right.
They're kind of throwing hooks a lot and like that he does that's what he does. And
I
I
mean, that's
kind of think that
standing.
looks a little weird actually in a Street
Yeah.
Fighter context because I'm used to seeing just like regular straight punches. I don't know, whatever the animations are. And he's got
Exaggerated
these like,
attacks. Right. Yeah.
yeah, very exaggerated stuff. And his aren't really like that. So I'm sure I'll get used to it. And I don't think that they're bad. I think that they are what they are meant to be. Like they're like kind of realistic looking normal attacks for the most part. It's just that that's different than many other characters' styles. So I don't know if it's good or bad. It's just something that I wanted to point out.
Yeah. I mean, like that standing medium kick. Like I said, the first time I saw it, I was like, that just looks like an MMA kick, like I've seen in MMA highlights and such. But I mean, it's
Definitely.
really interesting. I mean, mechanically, he's strangely more unique than I would have expected because you look at this character, he looks very straightforward. He looks like, hey, I'm a punchy dude, but he's got a lot of like little interesting tweaks to it, like his far standing light punch, he moves forward. It's really far. It's 5 frames, but it's also like -4 on block or something like that. It's like
Yeah.
ridiculously negative, so you can't just use it to fish around for stuff. And interestingly enough, the way that his normals are designed, he doesn't have like ridiculous combo paths like I thought he was going to
Mm.
have, right? He definitely has some combo paths, but you feel like that those are all just like pre-designed, you're not going to be finding anything crazy or weird that the programmers didn't intend for him to do, you know.
Luke Boring, James Chen. You heard it here first. Definitely going to be an Event Hubs article now.
But the thing about it is, I mean, the way that his mechanics work, I actually do think are really interesting. The especially with the what is it, the flicker punch or whatever they called it, the quarter circle back plus punch that you actually have to hold the button for. And you know, I was wondering how lenient they were gonna make it, because obviously what happens is if you want standing heavy punch to combo into the charged up, I think it's actually towards heavy punch, or is it regular
It's
standing
just Stand
heavy?
Fierce.
Yeah. Stand Fierce combo into the level 2 straight to get the wall bounce for more damage. The window is pretty small on how long you hold the button for. It's very easy to hold it for too short and for too long. Now, if you go with the upper punch, the light one, the window is much bigger. It's a lot easier to combo into that one. But it's really interesting, and I was surprised that they were willing to make it that small. It's honestly very learnable though. And at the highest levels, people are going to be busting it out like 99% of the time. But it'll be really interesting to see people drop every once in a while, you know, in tournaments.
Yeah, I think that will happen. I think especially when you're talking about canceling from a medium into the launches, that is actually pretty tough. Those are just a couple of frame windows, it feels like. And getting some of the juggles that he has in V-Trigger 2 especially, those feel pretty tough in some of those cases. So if you want execution, you know, this game has a buffer window of 3 frames, so when you press a button, it's really easy to get. But releasing a button requires specificity, and that's the case. It has been the case for Abigail's V-Trigger 1 combos for like a few years, and now it's the case for this guy as well. So, you know, if you want to have tight execution, I think he's your dude for that kind of stuff. Yeah. As far as his game plan goes, I think it seems like you can play him in a couple of different ways. I feel like it would seem to me like it's viable to play him as a zoner in many matchups. His fireball's really fast. It's really far. It's almost literally full screen. And I don't know if there's even travel time. It might just be instant. It's super, super fast once it's actually out there. And that's going to be tough for some characters to deal with, I think. He's got Dragon Punch. He's got Fireball. He's got classic stuff like that. He also has the ability to get into plus frames pretty easily when you charge things up. Especially if you have V-Skill 1 active, you can get into a +4 situation really easily, and that is with the fierce quarter circle back punch. And if it hits, you get a launch. And so I mean, there's a lot of good utility, I think. Zoning, mid range, up close, he's got, you know, the same kind of things that many characters do. He's got the plus on block button. He's got the hit confirms. The single hit confirms I think are pretty doable for him. I tried that stuff out and I could get it a few of the times. So I think he seems like a pretty good all-around character, and that he has quite a bit of sort of gameplay going for him.
Yeah.
When you said kind of good all around, James's full face lit up. So what are you thinking, James?
No, because the thing is, I saw Punk tweet out that he was like, "This character seems amazing," and first time I saw him in the update that the Capcom guys put on, first thought in my mind was Punk is going to kill everybody with this character because his whiff punishes are going to be ridiculous. So I don't think he feels like he's going to be super, super strong, but in the right hands, I think he's going to be super scary. And on top of that, you know, are we going to see someone qualify with this character in CPT? Maybe not. We'll see. It's too early. For that to happen. But again, I mean, what's interesting is, you know, people in the chat are talking about his V-Skill 1, making it so you don't have to time things. What's really interesting to me is he doesn't have a lot of good V-Skill 1 setups. Like, you know, a lot of characters who have that power-up V-Skill have button into V-Skill, and it happens to be launch into juggle into V-Skill so that they can charge up for free. He doesn't have any target combos that do that. So I'm still not sure when his timing, like, I haven't tested to see after a DP. I know you can dash and be plus. So, you know, that's like 18 frames, 20 frames or something like that. But I don't know how long his V-Skill lasts and such. So not sure when he's going to get to charge that up. Having said that, though, I feel like it's might be the better V skill unless you play against the command throw character.
I think they both seem good. V skill 2 is only -2. He's got a 3-frame button at EXDP, so you can challenge after that sometimes. And if the opponent happens to throw, then you get to blow them up bigger time. It's also hit confirmable by itself. It's one of the options that I think he has that's single hit confirmable. That seems really good. Also, his whiff punishing game does seem good to me. I agree with that. But I will say that he can't cancel out of light punch or medium punch. You can't do that. So it's not like you're going to get a whiff punish into big damage from those buttons. You're just going to get the target combos, and those aren't really that big of a deal.
Right.
So I think there might not be as much damage unless you have V-Trigger or something like that ready to go.
But if you're Punk, you're going to be whiff punishing with heavy punch. You're going to be towards heavy punch and then link into the light kick DP, right? That seems to be the MO of his. So
Punk was whiff punishing with stand heavy punch. Okay. Oh, there you
go. I mean, we've seen it with his Karin, right? So boom, with the standing heavy punch. So I would imagine he can do the same things with this character.
So I think he seems pretty interesting, and I don't know that he's going to be the character that I play. I'm not as interested in the executional side of what he does. But I do think that he has a lot of interesting things that other players will enjoy. And I think that makes him fit in really well to the cast in the last couple of years. Like, just thinking about the cast since the summer that Honda and Poison and Lucia all came out at the same time. Every character has been cool. Those, Gil, Seth, then Dan and Rose and Oro, they're all weird. They all have funky options. They all have unique options. They all added a lot, I think, and he's definitely in that same vein. So I like him.
Sure,
I think that he fits
but
well.
How do you feel about his backstory?
His backstory. Luke.
Tell us how you feel about his backstory.
Did you know that Luke is sponsored by War Profiteers? That's cool. Thanks for pointing that one out, Capcom. He's sponsored by a mercenary company.
What's interesting
congratulations.
Is that
I don't know.
It seems like it's hinting that his dad might be Joe from Street Fighter 1. Because the picture looks like him. And if you actually look at, iFight pointed this out, but if you remember how Capcom did those individual profiles for like the entire universe, including the two guys in the title screen of Street Fighter 2? Well, yeah. Joe's is like, he really likes stars and all, like everything that's listed on his seems to point that he's probably going to be Luke's dad. And so, yeah, that seems to be,
Ooh, counterpoint. Apparently his dad's name is Robert.
Oh, did they actually say that? Maybe his dad's name is Joe Robert.
Yeah, maybe it's Joe Robert.
You're right.
I don't know.
You don't know
people in the chat.
Charlie Nash, right?
Yeah, that exactly.
So did his dad die, or is this an alive human still?
We don't know. We just saw him say "run" during the incident, and that was it. So
yeah, and then all right, sure, and then you grow up and you become a mercenary.
Well, he's not a well, maybe he is, but we know that he's he's a fighter, and as a fighter, he is sponsored by a mercenary company. So anyway,
okay,
congratulations! It's a great sponsor to have.
Sick.
Yeah, totally. Thanks for the backstory as always, Capcom.
The question that I have though is, people, they've said that he is a indication of the direction of Street Fighter 6.
Right.
Right. That's what they've said. Now, do they mean that gameplay wise, or do they mean that from a story standpoint? Right. I'm not sure, because what's interesting about all the characters that you pointed out is that, all of a sudden, all the characters that you mentioned are really interesting design. They all have like really crazy aspects of execution. Like Akira's air combos turned out to be really weird.
Oh, yeah,
Oro has the crazy Tengu Stone combos. Rose has some of those crazy like air teleporty, like back and forth kind of things, and then here we have Joe Jr. here with the chargeable, quarter circle
Robert
back
Jr.,
punches.
thank you.
Yeah. So I'm really curious about that. Like, if that means that once we go towards Street Fighter 6, that they're going to try to, instead of going the direction that 5 went, which is let's take away all the combos, and now they're actually trying to put in like some more interesting stuff that way. So, I mean, interesting if you like the execution stuff, right? Like, if you don't, some people are saying that they don't like the fact that you have to time those punches really well. And again, if you don't want to, you can do heavy punch into the light one. I mean, medium punch into the light one, like you said, is still kind of hard. But it's gonna be weird. I don't know how. Maybe then you'll have to go with V skill 2, so you get the automatic level 2 ones or something like that. So.
Look, I don't really think that there's anything gameplay related in this guy that we're going to see in Street Fighter 6. I mean, he'll probably have the fireball and the rush punch or launcher and the
uppercut.
tackle, like the uppercut. Yeah, he'll probably have the same moves, I guess. But in terms of like what are the gameplay mechanics going to be like about the game, we're not finding that out right now. Like, there's not going to be. Yeah, come on. I don't think there's any chance of that. I think instead it's just like here's his story. He's Joe Jr., Joe Luke Robert Jr.
Sure.
Okay.
Just
Here
to
we
get
go.
them all in there. So that's
Yeah.
his backstory. So now we know a little bit more about his backstory, and then that's going to set up into other stuff that I'm not going to watch when Street Fighter 6 comes out. And
Yeah,
people
probably.
who care about that stuff will hopefully enjoy it. Boy, I hope the Street Fighter gets a good storyline at some point.
No,
I think you're right. I think you're right.
Look, I'm just saying, when Street Fighter 2 first came out, we all laughed at Blanca's bracelet, Grandma, Russian dancing with Gorbachev. I mean,
Right.
Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter has just never been about story. And and then in Alpha, Chun-Li discovers that Bison kills her father, so she goes to get revenge and goes and finds him, and then he reveals that he killed her father, so she gets mad and wants revenge now. Like, it just, like, none of it makes any sense, dude. It's just, I don't think it mattered, dude. Like, I just...
Look, there are some people who
Yeah.
are into that.
There's people are really into Street Fighter lore.
Yeah, even the existing Street Fighter lore. So I hope
Ooh.
that those people. Well, I've met them online.
I'm just
I don't know
saying,
them
like,
personally.
how
They
can you be
exist.
They
how
do
can you be
exist.
into Street Fighter lore when Street Fighter lore practically doesn't exist, dude?
You don't
There's
have
a whole
to.
comic book.
Yes.
I have some of them sitting on my
Yeah,
shelf
I mean,
right now.
Udon was given permission to kind of craft the Street Fighter storyline, and then Capcom went and changed it anyway. So it's like,
Look, I'm not telling you that it's good. I agree that it's not good. However, as a matter of fact, there are people who are into it. So I hope that those people enjoy the Luke storyline. I hope that they enjoy the Street Fighter 6 storyline. I don't think that Luke shows us anything about how Street Fighter 6's gameplay is going to go. And I continue to hope that Street Fighter 6 is not around the corner. I continue to hope that that is a couple of years away.
No.
Yes, because I
No.
love Street Fighter 5. It's so good.
Put it on the shelf.
It's a fantastic game.
It had a good run.
They're going to be supporting it through 2022. And my hope is that maybe 2023, end of 2023, is maybe Street Fighter 6. Like, I want a couple more years.
My
with this
hope
game
is
that I enjoy so
Capcom
much.
Cup comes and they go, guess what? Street Fighter 6 free to play available now. That's my hope.
Is it a
Yeah,
mobile game?
right.
It was Street Fighter 5.
no,
Bring on Street Fighter
not
6.
happening, not
Mobile
happening.
gotcha Street Fighter 6.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, I mean, I will say, in accordance to what David said, Street Fighter 5 is really good right now. It's really, really good. And, talking to a lot of other, I managed to talk to Filipino Man, and he was saying that he thinks Street Fighter 5 in its current state is better than Street Fighter 4 was. And we know how much that Filipino man likes Street Fighter 4, right? I mean, but
What
he
a
actually
traitor.
thinks it's better right now. So,
Look, I think that Street Fighter 5 is at least as good as Third Strike. Maybe it's better than Third Strike. And for me, saying that is
Wow.
about the same as Filipino Man saying that about Street Fighter 4.
Right.
I think it's a really, really good game. I think that it's maybe the best Street Fighter game, and it's one of my favorite fighting games. ever.
Yeah, I mean, look, I know, I admit that there are issues with the game that I know make the game a little bit harder to get into for a certain sect of the population and such. But once you get to that highest level, I feel like the game is just it's at the high. I mean, that's the thing, right? Street Fighter V at its highest level is more entertaining than Super Turbo and Third Strike at the highest level, right? Because like at the highest level, when money is on the line, like if we had Super Turbo and Street Fighter 3,
Maybe. Might be true, yeah.
with $250,000 on the line, you don't think we're just gonna see yun chun
Dude,
chun
we're gonna
chun
see
chun
Chun mirrors, and we're gonna see Vega mirrors.
Yeah, and it's just gonna be Vega mirrors all day.
You
and
guys in the YouTube comments, you guys go after James and David. I'm not taking part in this conversation. I will never agree with someone saying that ST and Third Strike are boring. Like I can't do it.
We're not saying that they're boring. Obviously, they're two of our favorite games.
But Street Fighter V is boring. So Street Fighter V is more exciting than those two.
Oh, I see.
Look, I'm just saying, like somebody says, Street Fighter V, it's time to go because the netcode is trash. Netcode's better than Third Strike and Super Turbo's netcode, right? I mean,
at least the legal one.
Yeah, exactly.
Fightcade.
At least the legal ones.
At
yeah.
least the
Wow.
legal
Even
ones.
Smug says that SF5 is better than SF4 nowadays. Wow.
Oh yeah,
That
I would
is-
imagine so.
R.I.P. Anyway, look, I don't have anything against SF4. It's not my favorite game, but I hope that the people who enjoy it continue to play it. You should be playing it, Tubbleware. Oh, you do actually play it sometimes. Now that I think about it.
play it sometimes.
You do.
What,
You do
Street
play it
Fighter 4?
sometimes.
You mean?
I try
Yeah,
to, man, but the
SF4.
netcode is so bad.
That's actually
So bad.
actually bad netcode.
It
Anyway.
feels, especially after Strive. Oh,
Right.
Yeah.
God, delay base.
Oh
feels
yeah,
horrible.
yeah, yeah. No, it's true. It's true. It's. Oh,
All right. Well, that's a little chat about SF5 and the current state of SF5.
Just to tack on a little bit patch information. They did do some QOL changes, like you can skip
yeah.
the whole ending. Like when the guy is actually doing their win pose, you can hit the start button and choose menu items while the win pose is going and stuff like that. So
Cool.
okay, next character to talk
All
about.
right.
It's time to get happy. No, I don't know. It's Happy Chaos has released in Strive very late last night. This character has come out. We saw the as soon as we saw the little preview, the how to play Happy Chaos video. I mean, I saw that and I was like, "Oh my god." And then I got my hands on him and I was like, "Oh my god." This character is
double oh my gods. That's
he's
the James
basically,
Chan
I mean,
review.
Big ones.
someone said he's like Duck Hunt from Smash Brothers, and it's kind of true because you can shoot anytime you want, like with the can. Remember how you can shoot the can anytime you want? And that's basically kind of what Happy Chaos is. And this character is he's fascinating. And
So he has gunshots, and that's a resource. I don't know what the number is. It's like 6 or 7 or something.
6 bullets and a concentration meter.
And he has a concentration meter, and when he holds the gun and when he shoots, that concentration meter goes down. Is that
He
right?
uses up the bullets.
And uses up the bullets
Exactly.
when he shoots, of course. Yeah.
Now-
so how does this actual shooting and doing other stuff at the same time
So
work? Like, what's
this is the craziest part: is if you pull out the gun, concentration meter starts to drain. So I think what they did was they just didn't want you to be able to have the gun out 100% of the time and use it whenever. You had to manage that a little bit.
yeah.
However, when his gun is out, which you can pull out just by hitting heavy punch, he's a character that doesn't have a heavy punch button. So you can't do crouching heavy punch standing. He has no towards heavy punches, no jumping heavy punches. If you hit it, he pulls out the gun. If the gun is out, he fires a shot wherever the reticule happens to be on the screen. The thing about it is you can hit this shot at any time you want. Outside of a very, very few subtle times, you can fire this shot anytime you want. So in other words, I can do close slash, fire, start dashing forward, fire, and then get next to them, close slash, fire. So
you're shooting when you're dashing? Is that what you're trying to get
no,
at?
you're shooting when you're doing anything. So when I did slash, I start firing before my slash even recovers, and then I can dash forward and keep hitting as long as you have the gun out, you can fire. So I can do 2D and lie on the ground and hit H and fire. It's basically a Marvel assist that shoots the screen at any given time. It's crazy. Like, I thought Zato was tricky. So me doing close slash fire, dash up, slash, fire. Like, I thought Zato was going to be hard, but like this shit was like breaking my brain. Like, I couldn't, like, it was hard for me to do it. Like, it was just because I would hit fire, but then that would make me let go of the joystick because I was like staggering my taps with the button presses, but you want to dash and keep firing. And so like dash, fire, and then let go so I could do slash instead of towards slash. And dude, like my brain like started to basically explode trying to use this character. So he is crazy. You could jump over someone with a button and then fire as soon as you cross up. So it's fire, and then you land and keep the combo going. If you have,
you can be doing a jump in and shooting while. Can you do it while blocking?
That's a good question. I don't think so.
No,
I don't
you can't shoot while you block.
That would be too broken.
Yes. Okay, very good.
People are saying you can negative edge the gunshots. Oh shit. Oh crap. Oh yeah, that's true. You can't block while the gun is out. That's the rule.
Oh right.
Yeah. Yeah, and he has a move where he rolls behind you. Now, when you roll, you can't immediately shoot right away. You can only shoot towards the tail end of the roll. And not only that, but keep in mind, too, that the reticule, every time you fire a shot, it grows up again. It grows full again and then shrinks onto the opponent. Only when it's shrunken all the way is it super accurate. But when it's big, like if people are running, you can fire the shot and miss them. Now, he does have a fireball that causes no hit stun, no block stun, whatever, but it's it's like Fang's poison state, and if he hits you with it, all of his shots are a lot more accurate as well. So if he can get you with that, and people are doing combos because like you want to build up your concentration state, you want to reload your gun, they'll do combos that lead into wall splats and they cancel that move into concentration or reloading and then knock you through the wall and stuff, and it's really cool.
That does sound cool. Yeah, I've investigated him a little bit myself. I really like the design of being able to shoot whenever you want. I think that's interesting. I like the idea of having the Fang poison projectile, I guess you want to call it that. I think that's cool. I think that it seems like there's a lot of cool stuff there. And having seen other players put combos together and playing in matches a little bit, he looks like there's a lot of stuff to come up with, and there's going to be a lot of interesting stuff to do.
I mean, it's interesting because he feels really limited. None of his special moves are combo enders. Like, outside of pulling out his gun, but if your gun is already there, like, you can't cancel something into, like, like Jacko, like, she can combo into a kick, right, and just kick you away. Like, he doesn't have anything that's like that. So you've got to figure out how to do stuff to end with either towards slash. Also, he has Maya, Phoenix Wright's Maya, where he throws out the little clone of himself that eats.
The clone is very strong. Very, very, very strong.
If it's just there and your move hits it, it doesn't hit him at all.
Yeah, he can stand in front of the clone, and the clone still takes the hit from long as the hitbox is there. So if, like, Nago does a 2M, or I'm sorry, 2 slash, and it hits you and your clone, and you're standing in front of the clone, it doesn't matter. The clone takes the hit.
Yeah. Huh.
It's kind of silly. It's kind of silly.
It drains a little bit of his own life. But obviously you use it so that you can build concentration and reload. So that's like if you in a pinch, if you really need to build that. Or you can, for like one hit DPs for like Chip, you just throw it in front of his face when he's getting up and you run up to him. And what is Chip supposed to do? If he does a DP, it hits the clone, not you. So you get kind of like free meaty on him kind of situation. So he's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it counts as a wall. It actually acts like Agnos's wall. Like the opponent can't run past it. In fact, if you drop the clone, jump over the clone, and run into the guy and push them into the clone, it stops. Like, you start, like, you stop at the clone.
You can't jump over it either?
You can jump over it. Because it's just a Happy Chaos size clone. So
Okay.
in different poses, in like random
actually
poses
sick,
and
though.
stuff. Yeah. I mean, honestly, like, when Guilty Gear first came out and everyone's like, they simplified everyone and everybody's so simple and it's not Guilty Gear. Dude, like, every character that has come out for DLC, and this was something that's in the 5-5 matchup questions. I don't know if we want to just talk about it here and just retract that question, but the DLC has been super complicated in this game.
I mean, we've talked about it before, man. You release a game with the easy characters, the more simple characters, and then you
right, but
go a little more bonkers with the DLC.
The question is, though, a lot of the people who liked the simplistic nature of Guilty Gear might feel cheated out of their season pass because they can't use any of these new characters.
Oh, Steve, that's such a silly excuse. You totally can use them. You can pick them, and you can do whatever you want. You might not be successful with the character, but how is that the game's fault? That's on you.
Yeah, I gotta say, I don't know about you having wasted your season pass if you don't end up liking the characters. That seems like just a very classic issue, not something that's Guilty Gear related.
Right, yeah.
They don't necessarily need to be good or bad or complicated or simple or whatever characters for you to like or not like them. Like, those are all different things, and everybody has stuff that they like or don't like. There are seasons of Street Fighter V that I've never played any of the DLC characters. Season 1, I never played any of those DLC characters. I thought that they were all, what was that, like Guile and Boxer and stuff?
Alex, Urian,
what?
Jury,
I never played any of those characters.
Jury,
and I haven't played most of the MK characters that have come out for DLC. Like, it's just, I don't know. This to me just seems like it is maybe more, is the season pass a good idea? Maybe I should hold off on getting a season pass. Like, maybe that is the angle of attack here, rather than these specific characters are too complicated. The issue is more just that. Like,
well, I mean, if you're a serious player, you're going to want to have them playable regardless, because you're going to lab against them.
Of course.
So, it just depends on how serious you are about the game, really, But me, if I like a fighting game, I get season passes no matter what. I just want to support
because
you need devs.
Right, and you also want to lab against them, right? So.
Nah, I just want to support him.
He's playing May, dude. He doesn't need to lab.
It's true. It's true.
I'm playing Halo. Is what I'm playing. Spartan 117. All right.
Oh man.
Definitely. Yeah. No, I don't know about that argument. Although I will say, like, yeah, it's true that they're complicated. Maybe in different ways. I don't know. The Gold Lewis is like complicated. He's just like,
it's just executionally complicated.
Yeah, maybe you would say that.
That's what I mean. Like, all three characters are executionally complicated, which is interesting because if you are a person who doesn't like execution, that kind of sucks. Like, you see these cool characters and you want to try them and mess with them, but you can't use any of them because you're not an execution guy. And like,
I don't know, man. As the guy who, especially before I started like getting physical therapy, hated execution, and even now isn't like thrilled about it. I don't really feel like I'm left out of things if there are characters that have difficult execution, just because it seems to me like the same sort of thing that any other character archetype or gameplay mechanic would make me want to play or not play a character. Right. I don't feel left out if a character is just like a mid-range Cammy type character. Right. I'll never play that character in my life. I don't feel left out of it. That's a different story.
But, I mean, like, for example, like, Happy Chaos, like, he's executionally crazy. You don't like execution, so now you can't use him and listen to your favorite theme song, your favorite new theme song in training mode for hours and hours on end, dude.
I could if I really wanted to.
You gotta go fishing. You go fishing, and then you get the song, and then
boy, imagine spending my time fishing in Guilty
Yeah.
Gear, and then in order to listen to Happy Chaos's song. Like, what a just incredible, great use of my time.
Speaking of fishing, by the way, one of the things they did add was the player room customizations as well. I haven't actually messed with that yet, but I'm kind of excited to see what people are able to do. You can fish for items in the house, for your house, basically. So, you know, right now you see Eno's guitar in the background and all that stuff. I think you can just customize it to however you want to look. I haven't seen what kind of options, like theming, colors, items, maybe different amount of floors, maybe wider, short. I don't know. I haven't looked into it yet, but I think that's cool. You could, like I said, there was the realtor office in the original beta. I'm sure a lot of this stuff was intended on release and they just never got it out in time due to pandemic. But I'm kind of curious to see how well it pans out. So,
but he does not come with a significant balance patch, right?
No, it's all bug fixes.
There are some bug fixes. May did get a change.
Yes, one change.
Apparently, her getting so many dolphins in the corner was a bug, and they didn't intend that. So, I guess she got nerfed. I don't know. I haven't messed with her yet.
It was like, I think it was like the proration, wasn't it? Like the
something or other. Yeah, I don't know. The patch notes are always worded a bit odd, so I'm sure people have messed with it. I haven't messed with her yet. I will eventually and see what the change was for myself, but I haven't seen like May players complaining about it or anything.
Mr. Dolphin Horizontal, the heavy slash version, fixed a bug with the wall break value scaling after the 1.1. So maybe the wall break was a little too high if you smacked him into it with that dolphin or something like that. So
it was probably too low considering how many heavy dolphins she can get.
Yeah, okay.
He's probably supposed to break earlier, so it'll nerf her damage a bit.
Right, yeah, okay. Makes sense.
That's what I'm imagining. I don't know. But that's what I'm assuming is going on.
All right.
Okay.
Cool.
But outside of that, everything else was outside of that, everything else was bug fixes, so everything else was bug fixes.
All right. Very good. Anything else to say about Happy Chaos?
Again, he's super cool. Like, I was surprised. Like, when I saw, I mean, again, we see the trailers. We're like, oh, that's interesting. I think he's, like, when we saw Gold Lewis trailer, he's like, oh, okay. And then we see in this Behemoth Typhoon, and then Happy Chaos, we saw his trailer, and we were like, is he going to be a zoner? How's he going to play? Interesting. And then it just turns out you can shoot guns anytime you want. And it's just like, again, I'm happy because this is the Guilty Gear that the hardcore Guilty Gear players want, right? This is what they were hoping for, you know, and complaining about for the early ones. Like, I'm just hoping that a lot of the people who got into Guilty Gear and like it because it is simpler aren't starting to feel a little left behind, is all.
I'm sure they'll be fine.
Chaos high fives himself in the mirror match.
He does.
He does.
He says
says
something like, "What's up?" and they high five, and then one of them says, "Hey, so which one is the real one again?" And the other one says, "Not sure," and then they smile and start fighting.
There's also one where one of them says, "Hey, I'd like to, or can I play the antagonist this time?" And the other one's like, "Sure, I'll be the protagonist." Like, it's pretty funny.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Good work.
Okay.
Good work.
Oh, man. All right. You want to take a break then, and we can get Mr. John Crofts into the call over here, and we can talk to him about all the things. All right.
Sounds
cool. Good. We will be right back, guys. Do not go anywhere. Once we're back, Mr. J.M. Crofts on the Tuesday Show. Be right back. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Tuesday Show. And now it is my pleasure to bring on our guest for the... Just trying to wait to see how many emotes David goes through here. Is he going to...
Welcome to Video Games, everybody. We're here doing Video Games at the Tuesday Show. And like James was about to say, we have a guest.
Yes, Mr. John Crofts, a.k.a. J.M. Crofts. And... Bam! There we go. What's up,
Oh, that
John?
was so
How you
smooth.
doing?
Here we are.
Quiet,
going, guys?
quiet, you. No revealing the flubs here. Everything was as intended.
All right, we made it. That's what's important.
Everybody nailed it and is having a great night. Congratulations, everybody. Thanks a lot for hopping on and talking with us. Looking forward to it. As always, I think it's nice when we bring somebody on to ask them about their background. How is it that you got into playing fighting games? And then how is it that you got into playing fighting games in a more sort of serious, competitive way?
Yeah, I'm a pretty typical 09er, I think. Like most people, I had a casual acquaintance with, I played Street Fighter 2 on SNES, Soul Calibur 2, GameCube, but I didn't know about tournaments or anything until Street Fighter 4. And it kind of worked out in this crazy way where, the game came out and I knew I was going to pick it up like day one. And then there was a tournament that we held at college dorm. I say we, I wasn't involved, but they held a tournament at our college dorm and I entered and I ended up just meeting a lot of people there. We were like, oh, you like Street Fighter 2? So we all became friends and we would go and play in each other's dorm rooms and stuff. And that's when I went to my first tournament, which was Seasons Beatings in Ohio.
Dang.
Great tournament.
So
Great tournament.
That's old school right there. Seasons Beatings, man.
Oh, don't tell me that, James. I'm feeling older already. I remember being the 09er. I was the new kid on the block. And that was like, oh my gosh.
Well, I mean, was that
are old men now?
That was 100 years ago.
Was that still at Momo's?
Yeah, that was at Momo. Yeah.
Man.
That was the tournament where Marn beat Daigo with a Wake Up Ultra.
Yes.
And everybody lost their mind.
Yeah.
Marn Dudley, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
Dudley.
And
Wake
that
Up
was
Ultra.
was the situation where poor Ski Sonic got blamed for racist comments that he did not make at all.
Oh,
so,
geez.
yeah. Because after he did that and Daigo was eliminated, me and Ski were on commentary. Someone ran up behind Ski, grabbed his microphone, and said, "Sayonara, bitch!" Like Daigo, "Sayonara, Daigo, bitch!" or something like that. But the guy's voice sounded like Ski Sonic's voice. And so everyone thought that was Ski Sonic, unfortunately, for the longest of time.
Rough.
That's a bummer. It's a
This is
unlucky
you,
draw.
you've always got the best lore, James. This is
This
awesome.
is not good lore. This is bad
No,
lore.
I know. No,
This is the best lore. Ski Sonic was a bigot. This is the best lore I've ever heard.
It's interesting as all. It's deep. It's deep stuff.
So where were you going to school? Were you in Ohio? Was that a close trip for
Purdue
you?
University is where I went in Indiana.
Okay, yeah, not so far
So
away.
it was like we drove there, and I think we just went in and out one day. We were just there like all day, and we left at like 3 a.m. But and so that was I honestly didn't even want to go. They had to like talk. I was like, that sounds so serious. Like I feel like a lot of people have this conception where they're like, oh, to go to Evo, you have to be like one of the best players in the world, right? Which is obviously not true. But I kind of felt that way at the time. I was like, I'm not that good. Why would I go to a tournament that I'm not that good at? But obviously it was amazing. And we even ended up our group of friends, we ended up forming a fighting game club at Purdue where we would have weekly tournaments and stuff like that. And we would travel to tournaments together. So that was a lot of fun. And that's how, still a lot of my best friends and stuff we met through that. So that is what got me in deep to fighting games. And then I never really thought that I would be a content creator, but things just kind of worked out
We'll
that
get
way.
there. We'll get to that part.
I mean, look,
be like,
Come on.
I even see someone in the chat there. The Munin, I guess. The Munin, is he someone that was with you to that series meetings?
We go way back. Oh yeah.
Look at that.
Munin, he had the SF4 Bison. He had I played mostly Chun-Li. He was out there playing Bison. It was a good time.
That's
So,
cool. Friends
what was
friends
the
for a
big draw
decade
for you?
now, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Even
Sorry,
more than that now. Oh.
Yeah, go ahead,
2009
David.
was
Sorry.
1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was the draw for you in getting into fighting games then more about the sort of social situation rather than the games themselves or the strategy or anything like that?
It was definitely both, and like just the atmosphere around Street Fighter 4 was so insane. And even though like the FGC is bigger now than it was then, the growth that happened was so insane. Like there would be
so fast.
new YouTube channels popping up. new streams, new guides, everything was just exploding. And so it became this thing where I was like, oh, I want to get better so I can beat my friends. And so then I would find like this sub community of people who would post guides or whatever. And everything was just growing in such a massive way. And it was like this group of people that was all, at first I thought I didn't care about getting good. But then when it was like, oh, like, there's people playing this for money. There's people playing on stream and stuff. I was like, oh man, this is actually kind of hype. But I wanted to really improve. So.
Well, cool. I mean, it does sound then. I mean, everybody has different reasons for getting into fighting games, and they're all legit. I don't mean like say that one is better than the other, but it does sound like the sort of more social atmosphere was really important for you,
sure.
and that the what was the draw for you with respect to the game? I mean, was it the game at all, or was it really just the social stuff?
It was the game to a degree. I mean, I knew the characters from childhood, so that obviously helps. But like, the fact that I feel like we haven't really had a game like that everybody played to the same extent. Like that, it was just so ubiquitous. It was, all these different communities kind of met up together to play this game against each other. So it was just exciting being a part of this thing that was like everybody was playing it.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
man, you won the first Purdue tournament. Shout outs to this guy.
Oh yeah, I don't know if that's true. I think that might be fake. But I did switch from Chun to T-Hawk, which was the worst decision of my life because he was trash until they gave him the gun. He was trash in that game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting that you talk about this. One of the themes that I often talk about is, how fighting games are kind of like more of a social thing. And I know we're jumping ahead here, but like, can you, like, what's your opinion on the change from currently, from previous, you had these meetups in your college and now we're in this pandemic and it's all online and ranked and stuff. Like, does it feel different to you?
Yeah, I think people aren't really talking enough about how COVID has affected the FGC. I think if you ask around, a lot of people are like, the FGC kind of feels like in flux. Like we're not really moving in a direction right now. Like new games come out and we're hyped for them and we play them, but we just hop online and we play them against each other. And then, within like a week, people feel like the meta is solved because the information is shared so quickly and people are like, when's the next patch? So it's like, we just feel like we're on this roller coaster and there's not sort of this sense of community that everybody cares about, which is this external thing that's beyond the game. I feel like a lot of that hasn't really been happening since COVID. So, now tournaments are starting to come back and stuff, which I think is just going to be huge. Another game that I play a lot is Magic the Gathering. And that's another game where this is a big conversation, which is like, you can play it online, but it's almost like a different game. Like there's a very, very different game when your opponent is there. And this definitely applies to fighting games as well. Like not just because like you can hear their buttons and stuff, but also like the external stuff. Like you talk after the match, you go, oh, like I didn't know that you could punish this with that or whatever. Like that kind of stuff adds so much and like just makes you love the games more. So I feel like the love of the game has been hurt a little bit by the fact that we can't play them all together.
I mean, I've always kind of described it as that you can feel the heat from your opponent. Like somehow when you're playing against them, you just feel something out of them and it gives you a lot of interesting external information. Yeah.
Feel the heat, huh?
Feel the heat, James.
90.
You can feel something inside of them, huh?
Side by side cabs. Elbow to elbow.
Yeah, you definitely felt there.
Oh, man.
More of that lore, right? I mean, that's where Watson would eat the burritos and unleash the stink bomb to hurt his opponent. So this is gas warfare, basically.
Classic technology. So you play SF4, and then what's your journey in FGC like after that for the next few years?
Well, Marvel 3 I got really into as well. And then a really big one for me was Skullgirls. When that ended up coming out, and like a crazy story, not a lot of people know this, was that I actually worked for the company who originally put out Skullgirls way back in the day. I worked there for 2 months as an intern, so I kind of had like a relationship there that helped me learn a little bit more about fighting games, and it gave me sort of an insight to how the games are made a little bit. Obviously, not to like an extreme degree because I was only there for one summer. But
wait, was this before or after Mike Z joined?
It
project?
was after.
Oh, it was after. Okay,
Mm.
okay.
But it was before they stopped being Reverge Labs and became Lab Zero.
Oh, interesting. Okay, okay,
That would have been what, like 2011?
okay.
I think that's right.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and of course it's so ironic because the reason that I had that internship was like I studied computer science, so it was like, okay, I'm gonna learn so much about writing code and software development and stuff. And then after I graduated, I was a software developer for 5 or 6 years or something, and then I became a full-time content creator. So all those skills are gone, but the fighting game stuff is still, that's all here. That still matters.
That's what matters. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the most important stuff I learned in college.
Exactly.
I'll
Yeah.
tell you.
Learning Okizeme and stuff that mattered a lot more than learning how to declare pointers.
Well, I definitely spent more time in the arcade than at any one individual class. I can tell you that about my college experience.
Yeah, true.
Okay, so at what point then do you start doing content?
Yeah, I did little things here or there. Like I did like a couple like guides and stuff for Skullgirls, but not much. But SF5, when that came out, was kind of the first time I kind of really pushed at it. There were periods where I would have a daily upload, but I also had a job at the same time, so that was like that was the hardest grind, was like working 45-hour week or whatever, coming home and making a video every day. So I did that for SF5, and my channel grew a lot in that time. But then Dragon Ball Fighters came out, and that was like the biggest boost. It was kind of insane because I think that my channel does appeal a little bit to people who aren't super invested in the FGC. It's kind of people who like fighting games, but they kind of don't know how to take the next step. And so I think Dragon Ball Fighters brought in so many people like that, where they were like, I love Dragon Ball, I love this game, but I don't know anything about what playing in tournaments is like, or even like, how to learn a character, how to come up with combo routes and stuff on your own. Like, so being able to take those people to the next level, I think helped my channel grow a lot. And then I think about a year, or I guess about a year after Dragon Ball Fighters came out, was when the software company I worked for went out of business.
Oh,
and I was like, so I could just like look for a new job and just do the exact same thing again, right? Go through the entire like job search process, or I can just go all in,
right.
and we'll try it for a few months, and if it fails, I'll just get a normal job, but if it works, I'll just keep doing it. And it's been coming up on 3 years, I believe.
Nice.
Let's go.
It's
maybe
working.
even coming up on 4, actually. I think it was April 2018 was when I became a full-time creator, so it's been working out pretty well since then.
What did that feel like to make that jump?
It was scary. And I did so much math. I was like, okay, so if I can get this many views a month, I'll make this much money. If I can get this many people to sub to me on Twitch, my rent is this. Like, how can I make it add up? And then, like, I don't know, like 45 days in, I was like, this isn't working. It's like it's not doing well enough.
45 days.
around like 60, around 2 months in, it was like, okay, it's actually happening. I can actually do this. I can survive off this. And then, as the channel grew, it was like, okay, I have enough money to like buy myself health insurance and put money into savings. So
health insurance, what's that?
I know. Thanks, Obama. He helped me out with the Obamacare. But
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, you were saying how, a lot of the players who came into Dragon Ball were kind of new, and you were kind of helping them guide into FGC proper, like almost kind of like being the gateway into the FGC. Is that like one of your main goals of your content? Is that like a focus, or is that just kind of how it happened to turn out?
I think to put it more broadly, I think one of my main focuses is like, fighting games are hard to get into, and so I think that one of my skills that has helped me is that I'm able to break things down that are hard for people to understand and relay it in a way that new players can actually comprehend. I think I'm actually getting worse. Like, the longer I do it, the harder it is to remember what it was like to be new, because that's a real problem. I think if you look at a lot of fighting game guides on YouTube, this is one of the things that made me want to make YouTube videos, is like, a lot of people, even if they're one of the best players in a given game, it's hard for them to remember what it was like to approach it from the perspective of someone who is new. So, they just know intuitively, like, when to throw a fireball. like they can't really explain when to throw a fireball because they feel like, okay, I'm gonna do it now because he's at the right range to get hit by a fireball or whatever. But a new player, they're like, I don't know, like I know how to do all my special moves, but I don't know when to use them, and stuff like that is really hard to consciously put into words when you should think about doing those kinds of things. So yeah, I think that's been more of my goal. And then, bringing people into the tournament community and stuff, I definitely do that as well. Like I've made videos that are like, pre-pandemic, I made videos that were like, hey, if you're thinking about going to Evo, here's why you should go. And here's like my 5 tips for what you should do at your first Evo. So I've done stuff like that too.
Nice.
What was your tip? I'm curious. What
there were a few. There was like, I said you should stay at the venue. I think that's a big
Oh,
one.
okay, good one.
Yeah,
Good
I think if you stay off venue, it just makes the whole weekend a lot more of a drag.
Yeah.
I said that you should always play casuals, like play as much casuals as you can.
You're
I think
giving
that's like the
helpful
best
tips.
part
Okay.
of going to tournaments.
Yeah.
I forget the other ones. There were a bunch.
Yeah, okay, but not.
Oh,
not
one was don't enter every game. I think that's something that a lot of they enter like 8 games and then they go 0-2 in 6 of them, and then their whole weekend sucks because they're just rushed from pool to pool the whole time.
Yeah.
I don't know if I did drink lots of water, but that's a really good. I should have put that in the video. I think that might be the most important one now that I'm a little more mature.
So, important question here. Curly W asks, why do you not respond to my DMs with ideas for FGC Jeopardy categories, huh?
Well, I mean, when was the last time I even did a FGC Jeopardy? It's been a while, so who's to say? Why I don't respond to the DMs is just I'm lazy. I got no excuse. I'm lazy.
Oh man,
That's the best
Follow-up
excuse.
Follow-up question: when is UCTV Jeopardy?
I would love to do that. I would, I think James and I talked in the past.
Yeah, you had talked to me about potentially the Combo Breaker one that you did, right? The one that you did for Combo Breaker. I wanted to go up I wanted to go on the show and flex my knowledge. Then I watched the Combo Breaker one and I was like, shit, I don't know the answer to a lot of these.
No, there's no way. Those were low balls. I bet you know them.
Andres, you would definitely beat me for sure. I'm sure I would lose in those. But I definitely wanted to talk about this and your content. A lot of FGC content is we're playing on ranked, or maybe I have matches versus somebody in particular. And you do that stuff too. But you also have things like the sort of the Jeopardy episodes. Can you talk about how you go about deciding what kind of content to make? What's your criteria for coming up with new ideas?
I think a lot of it is just I am very like my attention span. It's hard for me to do the same thing for a long time, which I think it can hurt you because people ask me, they're like, I loved this old series, when's it coming back? And it's like, I mean, honestly, I just would rather do something new than doing the old thing. So it can hurt sometimes, but it helps as well because I don't like to get stuck in ruts where I just do the same thing over and over. So I like to think a lot about, I do the normal YouTube stuff where I follow trends. Like, people were doing King of Fighters 13 combo trials. I had done combo trial videos before. People had asked me to do it. So I was like, okay, this is obvious that I should do this. But some stuff, it's just, I guess I think long and hard about it and I try to come up with stuff. And it's hard. A lot of it is bandwidth related. Like, I do upload 5 days a week. Sometimes I do skip days, but generally I upload 5 days a week. So sometimes I have to, make decisions. Like I'm working on a video. It's going to take 3 days of work. And so for the other days, maybe I'll just upload ranked matches or something. So
cool.
That does contribute to it. But yeah. And then, like finding what works and what people like and doing that, but always trying to put like a twist on it and try to keep it interesting.
So do you have like a team of guys helping you out, editors or anything like that? Or are you just one manning this?
It is just me, which I think is probably bad for me. I think maybe I could be more successful if I had editors, but I like doing it, and I'm very stubborn. I'm like, well, I want things to be a very specific way, so I like to do it, and I do all the thumbnails and the titles and stuff, so I have to do lots of research of like, okay, well, what style of thumbnails are working well, what style of titles. This is how crazy YouTube is now. Like I'm like I make 2 titles and 2 thumbnails for every video, and after 30 minutes, if the click-through rate isn't high enough, I switch it and see if it goes up. So
Whoa.
there's a lot
Let's
of
go.
stuff that goes into it, but yeah, generally I just always have like a notepad of like ideas for videos. And I go through it and like try to work through them and make new stuff.
That takes a lot of creativity, and you talked a little bit about how you were studying software, you worked in software for a while. Do you have a background as well in more, creative, expressive, maybe public speaking type work as well?
No, not really, but I think that actually that's one of the reasons why I got into content creation is kind of an outlet for that, right? Like,
Yeah.
I made websites for years and I worked for clients. So all you do is like the client tells you we want it this way and then you do it, right? And I wasn't a designer or anything, so I was just a coder. So there's so little room for like creative output. But one of the things that I loved about content creation, one of the things that got me through the grind of working a job and making videos at the same time was like, if I have an idea, I can just do it. There's no one who's like, you have to make a video that is like this, or you have to make a video that's like that. And that's another thing people ask me is like, have I thought about joining like a team or like a brand or like whatever? And it's not really something I want to do just because I like that freedom. And if I have a video I want to make, I just make it. And if I have a video that I'm not interested in making, I just don't make it. So
What you're saying is Panda hasn't offered you enough money yet. You're holding out.
we were talking about Ludwig earlier. He moved to YouTube exclusive for the right amount. So there's a right amount, but
You're looking for that
what-
Ludwig money, huh?
yeah, exactly.
Let's get all the FGC programmers. Let's go make our own fighting game. Let's do that.
Yeah, people always say that. They're like, we'll get all the programmers and we'll put rollback into Marvel 3. Let's do it.
Dude, okay, yeah, I think that'll work,
I
dude.
wish.
I made
I wish.
websites, but I don't know how to make rollback.
It's
netcode
probably
in a
the
modern
same thing. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's
Yeah,
similar. It's the
website,
internet,
video
so.
game.
I don't know.
It's all ones and zeros.
That's what I
Yeah.
figure. Okay, so as far as your focus on content goes, has it been what? How has it been being more of a sort of public persona in the FGC? What's that experience been like for you?
It's been good. I think I've gotten a lot more popular since the pandemic, so I think that I haven't really seen the full effect of it yet. But
Oh yeah. Okay.
it was definitely weird when I would go to tournaments and people are so nice. Like none of these people have a negative bone in their body. They're saints, but they would come up to me and they'd be like, "Yo, you're JM Crofts," and I'm just so like socially awkward that I'm like mortified. I'm like, "Yeah, that's me." They're like, "Yo, can I get a selfie?" It's like, of course. I'm really awkward about that kind of stuff, but it is nice. But now I know that I've made it big since the pandemic, since I was recognized at a CBD store by the guy working there. He was like, "Yo, do you make videos on YouTube?" I was like, "Yeah, that's me." So I was like, "All right." I told all my friends. They're like, "Yeah, right." I was like, "No, it's true. He recognized me." And this was with the mask on, so that's an extra layer.
Dang, okay.
Wow.
Dang.
I think the bald head helps. I think that makes me more recognizable. But yeah.
So when things go offline again, you're expecting to get hit up constantly at events, huh?
I wouldn't say constantly, but it's
Just
it's
a
gonna be-
real celebrity, eh?
Constantly. at events.
No, you got I mean, and it's funny because of course I was doing that too. That I probably would say that to you guys like back in 2010 or whatever. I'm sure I was like, "Oh, you're Ultra David." I'm sure that happened, but
I
I
can
can
barely
barely,
do that when I see
I can
him in
barely take
person.
5 steps without people saying hello to me. I know it's tough. Look, no, you're hardly alone in feeling like a little awkward when it comes to that stuff.
yeah.
I think the only person among all of the folks that I know who doesn't feel awkward about that is Tasty Steve. He just has like infinite energy.
Yeah.
All of the rest of us are always like, "Are you sure that you want to talk?" Like it's always a little bit like. But anyway, so you're hardly alone when it comes to that.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, I'm not like I'm FGC famous, but I'm not actual internet.
Of
famous.
course,
if
of
you
course.
compare me to the real gaming YouTubers, I'm not really on that
course.
level. So
Well,
So what's coming up next for you? Are you planning to come back and, speaking of offline events, go back to in-person tournaments soon?
Yeah, I'm going to Frosty Faustings, so
Oh,
that's
sick.
going to be
Let's
great.
go. Okay.
I'm going to be doing commentary for Tatsunoko versus Capcom, so tune into that,
Oh.
guys.
So you're actually
Whoa.
jumping into the commentary realm here, huh?
I'm trying. A friend of mine, Dr. Science, he ran a tournament series called Tatsunoko versus Corona, and we and he and I did commentary for that for a lot this year. So now we're doing an offline one. I say we. He's doing the whole thing, and then I just hop on the mic and take all the credit. So we'll
That's what
do that
commentary is all about, right?
Sounds
So-
like commentary. Yeah.
You guys do long days though. I don't know how you do that.
I mean, back in the day, but not these days. No.
You wait till
I-
Frosty's, buddy.
It depends.
alright.
It depends.
Long days. Don't you worry, Dave.
All right.
Yeah.
Dude, I did 9 hours straight of Tetris commentary. Okay, let me.
Oh,
Oh,
jeez.
okay. Yeah.
Oh man.
Definitely.
Crazy.
All right. Cool. So you're no CEO for you.
No, I thought about going, but it just kind of didn't line up with things. So
Florida's kind of crazy right now, so
yeah, that's also a problem. And since I live in Chicago now, so Frosty is proximal to me.
Oh, right.
Oh,
It's,
nice.
I
Okay.
don't know, like an hour away.
I mean, I'm hoping all of us will be at Frosty's, right? So we'll all probably be able to
Be there.
say hi and everything like that.
Yeah.
I can go up to you and be like, "Oh my God, are you John Crofts? Oh my
Yeah,
God!"
you like pull out
I
the
will.
phone, and you're like, let's
Yeah.
selfie.
I will purposely ignore you and Hollywood you the whole
Yeah,
time.
That's fair. That's fair. Of course, you were a celebrity to me, Tupperware, because I would go to all the Chicago tournaments. You were always holding it down. You run in the auction tournaments and stuff. So
That's
I
right.
do what I can. I do my best.
I'm the one who should be honored here. I should be asking for the selfie.
I got you. I got you at Frosty.
There we go. Oh, plus you were
For
you were
sure.
on TV one time, right?
I
Everyone
was
knew.
on TV.
Yeah.
one time.
That's
that was
a
a long
legendary.
time. That was a lifetime ago now. A long time ago.
And people recognized you from that, right?
Oh yeah.
For
there
like
you
years because it was syndicated on VH1.
go. Oh no way.
So for like 3 or 4 years after it aired, people would still be like, "Hey, you're that guy," like randomly. So
Oh, that's
So funny.
awesome.
Now,
Yeah.
I mean, I ask everybody this question. I don't think I really need to ask you this question, except maybe what the M is. But I ask everybody where their handle comes from. But, I think J.M. Crofts is pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah. And the funny thing is my dad is named John, so it was always confusing growing up. Like, if they're like, someone go get John. So JM is like an easy way. It's the easy way to differentiate us. So
Oh, do you go by JM normally?
not really, but it's like a nickname. It's people can call me that.
it's like a family thing, if you're close.
Yeah.
So you're technically
Like
a
we are.
junior
Me
then.
and my
So
boy
you-
JM.
It actually goes way back. My grandpa was named John. His dad was named John. There's a bunch. So
What? Are you the
Oh.
fifth or something? What?
I'm a bunch, but we all have different middle names, so it's not
Oh,
it's
okay.
not.
So it's not
really-
technically
Yeah,
third, fourth, fifth.
yeah.
That's awesome. All right. Did you ever have a gamer tag separate from what your actual name is?
I did. I was Chill Dog for years. You can look up Chill Dog tournament footage on YouTube.
I see. Yeah, no, I saw someone in the chat. Right? No,
Yeah.
he's Chill Dog. So
I
there
don't
you
know
go.
why. I think literally the only reason I stopped going by Chill Dog was my YouTube channel was under JM Crofts, and so I was like, it's too late. Like I can't.
Oh, yeah.
It's too late.
I was like, I have 1,000 subscribers. It's too late. I can't.
It's
can't
too
make a
late.
new channel
Then, oh
today.
no.
Dude, I mean, I'm
I've
surprised.
come too
Like,
far.
it's crazy because, like, we don't call Steven Superman Say Jam because isn't that still his YouTube channel? Is still
Oh,
Superman
no
Say
way.
Jam? I'm not
It is,
sure.
yeah, I believe so. It's something weird.
All right, but so correction then. If I see you at Frosty Faustings, I'm definitely walking up and going, "Oh my God, are you Chill Dog?"
Some
Chill
people do
Dog.
say, and I'm like, oh,
What
those
up,
are the
Chill Dog?
old school guys. Those are around back in the- they know Chill Dog, who had minor winning success in Skullgirls tournaments twice.
Nice. All right, man. Well, please plug your stuff and where people can watch you do content.
Yeah, obviously, JM Crofts on YouTube. Follow me on Twitter, Crofts. That's where I basically say whenever I'm going to do something. So that's the easiest way to know. And a big plug on the 8th, I'm going to be doing a stream for the Quest to Conquer Cancer at 4 p.m. So stop by for that. My plan. I haven't announced this anywhere. My plan is I'm gonna be continuing Persona 4 Arena combo trials. I started those a long time ago and I gave up because they were too annoying. But everyone's been requesting it, so I'm gonna be marathoning that and raising money for charity. So definitely stop by for that on the 8th.
Okay, I apologize. I definitely wrote JM Crofts at JM Crofts on everything here, but your Twitter is actually
someone poached JM Crofts. Someone has it, I think. I tried to get it on Twitter. Someone poached it, so.
Well, I mean,
I'm just at Crofts.
Well, wish you luck in the future.
There's a reason why we're Ultra Chen TV on Twitter instead of just Ultra Chen.
Man, these vultures be out there, man.
So it goes. Can you believe somebody thought to combine Ultra and Chen before we did? Impossible.
There's not that many people named Chen in the world, right?
Oh, I don't think so.
Not at all.
It's like a cool 1.7 billion.
I've never had at UCLA orientation. My luggage didn't actually get sent to the other James Chen that was there either. So yeah.
Of course. All right, man. Thanks a lot for joining us. It's been cool to talk to you.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. Have a good rest of the show.
All right, buddy. Yep.
Peace.
Bye, everybody.
Night. Yeah, that's cool. Looking forward to yelling across the room at Frosty's. Yo, chill dog.
Chill dog.
Yo. Gonna make
there
that
we go. I fixed it now. Chill Dog.
Oh yeah.
Talks about FGC origins and content creation. There we go. So.
All right. Cool. Well, thanks again. Let's move on to the next one. It's gonna go to our 5-5 matchup, where of course we let the viewers send in suggestions for what we'll talk about. We then let the viewers vote on which one we're actually gonna do. Now we kind of addressed one of these, right?
Yeah, so it's number 4 right there. Do you think the first battle pass was a little aggressive for adding such difficult to play characters to Strive's roster?
We can get rid of that one.
Yeah, let's just strike that one out.
Yeah, let me do that real quick.
No problem. And whilst you're doing it, I'll read what the rest of the questions are. So, number 1, what fighting game has the best grunts? What defines good grunts as opposed to bad ones?
What is a grunt? Sorry, I'm not affecting.
It's a grunt. Come on. Number 2, a villain perception around a player sometimes develops in a competitive community or event. As commentators, do you try to avoid that topic when commentating them, or do you play up the villain aspect? Number 3, Ultra David's talked about the difficulty of commentating foregone matchups before, but are there any drastically imbalanced matchups that are fun or interesting to commentate? And then number 4, with the return of EVO, would you rather have 1 or 2 dedicated slots for classic fighters, like 10 plus years or older, I assume, in the lineup, or a separate EVO for legacy titles? All right, there are the questions. Do you have a poll set up?
Now I do, yes. So the poll is set up now, so Tuba will have to vote again. I think they did, yeah. So again, subscribers get 2 votes, so go ahead and start throwing in your votes over here. And let's see how this goes.
By the way, we are taking one 5-5 matchup.
Yes, only one 5-5 matchup question.
Yeah, your votes count.
So make your votes count here, ladies and gentlemen.
Rock the vote. Build back better.
Grunts. Okay, got it.
What? How did
I literally grunted as an example?
Dude, I was thinking of like minions in League of Legends, like grunts, you know, like you're, and I was like, fighting games don't have grunts. Okay, got it. All right, you doing the Tim Allen grunt? Oh my god.
Wow, James, you're doing a great impression of the Tim Allen grunt.
I don't think so, Tim.
Wow, James, that was so good. You did. That was your impression you did just now of Tim Allen. Great.
That was
anyway,
incredible, James.
It was amazing.
Work,
I can't wait till I do it again.
I don't know if you ever will.
Yeah, probably.
I don't think you should try. You could never top that. Just like number 4 is not going to get topped. I think we should close it.
Okay, yeah, it looks like you're right. Number 4 has almost a majority. It's got the big plurality.
All right, so number 4, which is with the return of EVO, would you rather have 1 or 2 dedicated slots for classic fighters in the lineup, or a separate EVO for legacy titles? What do you guys think?
Well, let me just say right off the bat, of course I'm familiar with the Doom mod. That's all images of Tim Allen, and every sound effect is the Tim Allen grunt. Of course! I've been on the internet before. Of course I am. It's a classic. Absolute classic. With the Return of Evo, so I would rather have Legacy Evo, to be honest. I like the idea of having Evo, not just Evo 1, like that is to say 1 Evo, but I think it would be cool to have a few, as long as they're, differentiated in some way. We had when the world existed, Evo World, and it's been gone. I don't know if you heard, it's been a tough year and a half.
Yeah.
And there was also Evo Japan, and that was cool. I remember us talking at the time about thinking it would be cool if there were also Evo wherever else. I think that would have been cool too. Or we have talked about this in the past as well, having Evo Retro or Evo Legacy or something like that. Games that used to be Evo headliners that haven't been for a while. What's the criteria for that? Something we could talk about. But I think, I think that's a cool idea for a couple of reasons. One is that I think it'd be great to highlight those. There are people who are interested in older games, and certainly there is some crossover between those players and the players who are playing the brand new stuff. But it's also the case that in a lot of cases, people who are interested in the older games aren't as dedicated to the newer ones. And so, put them all in one place, both for watching and for playing. I think that makes a lot of sense. And for the Evo World, whatever the main one is, I think it would be great to continue having it be exclusively games that are like still the biggest games, the most played games, the most entered games, the most watched games. Yeah, the active games is a good way to phrase it. So yeah, I'm down with that idea. What about you guys?
Oh, go ahead, James.
No, I was about to say, it's nice to think to have an Evo Legacy kind of thing, but no one will go to it. That's the problem. It's actually the genuine problem with it is that it wouldn't be profitable. It would have to be a labor of love, right? It has to be, because people aren't going to be tracked, because most of the people, their audiences aren't as big, and most of the people who would want to go to that are old, and they probably have families and stuff like that now, so a lot of people won't be traveling to it. So in a way, it would be better to do it at a regular Evo. However, the implications of that is a little bit tricky, right? So the idea that I had suggested a long time ago was to have maybe 3 or 4 legacy titles at an Evo, but you can only enter one of them. Like, you're only allowed to enter one of them. And not multiple, because the more legacy titles you put in, the more you're going to get people playing multiple games, and then it's harder to schedule the players around, etc., etc. So in a weird way, it's kind of difficult to do that as well. And this is, of course, me speaking with Wizard in the past and Tom and Tony in the past about these ideas and stuff. And like I said, they understand the logistics, and everyone's like, oh, of course, just do it. It's easy, and it's not that easy, right? Because, at an event like Combo Breaker, Frosty Faustings, you have a lot of the older games. The amount of people at those events still isn't quite the same as Evo. And so if you do a classic event, the number of people, there's a reason why like the Unis side tournament at Evo had the most number of players until it became official, et cetera, et cetera. It's just and then you got to have its own stage, et cetera, because then people are mad if it's an official game and it doesn't get a official stage at Evo, right? You can't be on the side stage or anything like that. And if you're not streamed, you feel like Evo's sliding you. It's like there's a lot of different kind of subtext that go along with doing tournaments like that there. But I think it's possible. Which means it is something that I've wanted, because I have suggested in the past. I would love to see an EX2 tournament at Evo, because that game has some dedicated players. It would just be awesome to see that being played at the highest levels. I'd love to see, a Hokuto no Ken official tournament there and get the Japanese to come out and just infinite everyone to death on like some big stage and have the audience just screaming and howling with laughter. Like if they make it the early game on Sunday, like in the actual stadium, like dude, and just have people just howling with laughter. I think it would be amazing. So I would love to have something like that.
You know, I would just prefer to have one legacy title at Evo every year, just the official Evo World Championship, and for that title to always be Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Yeah.
So just always have Marvel
Okay.
there because it's the best,
I see.
and that's all that I would want. I don't. Yeah, we don't need. Who needs Third Strike?
Okay,
Who
so
needs CVS 2?
I
We got Ultimate Marvel 3.
But wait,
I
are you
obviously-
talking? Oh, go
I
ahead.
obviously totally agree. Obviously, that's completely right. But say, for example, that I don't know why, didn't agree. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows why I wouldn't agree.
Sure.
Say that I
sure.
didn't agree. How would
Yeah.
you get me to agree to that? Huh?
Oh, I tell you to kick rocks.
I see. I
You
see.
can kick rocks
Well,
if you don't like Marvel 3. That's
You've
that's
thought
how we
about
feel here at
everything.
Evo.
You've
Yeah.
thought about everything.
Absolutely, yeah. So, I hope you like one of our other 10 games.
So I mean,
Jeez.
are you talking about that as like that's the legacy game you would want every year?
That's the legacy game. Yeah. What other game could have a greater legacy?
All right, now
than
here's
Ultimate
my.
Marvel
Let me
Capcom
posit
3?
this to you.
Sure.
What would you do if I said that I actually don't know if Marvel 3 is a legacy game? Because I think it's still current.
Ooh, it lasts
As
forever.
long as Marvel is there, we're good. I don't care. I don't care if it's a current or legacy or. You know what? And throw Marvel 2 in there as well. Just do Marvel 3 and Marvel 2.
Every
Those
year,
are
dude,
the
just do
legacy
it.
games that are just there forever. And that's the way it should be because, man, those games are incredible.
Dude, honestly,
Timeless fighting games.
I mean,
Yeah.
you remember the Evo that got canceled? They were gonna put MVC2 back in that. Remember?
That's
And
true.
I don't-
That's true.
I don't think Tom and Tony would disagree with you at all. People don't realize how much those guys loved Marvel, dude. And so, like,
Sure.
I mean, look at Project L. It's a tag game now, right? It's a team
That's true.
game.
Yeah, look, I think that if what you mean by Evo Legacy is EX2, I mean, no shade on that game, but you're right, it has a very, very small community. I think if instead Evo Legacy was like SF4, Marvel 3, and MKX, I think you got and Melee, which is no longer, which is
Right, yeah.
Legacy as far as Evo is concerned. I feel like those 4 games, you know, you got 1,000 people there. I feel like that is those are big
yeah.
enough games to make that happen. Killer Instinct maybe is another example. Like
Right.
I do think that there's a selection of games that still I think would bring in a lot of people. And then maybe you also have your EX2s or whatever other game that you want to play that does
Street
have a
Fighter the
small
movie, someone suggested. Dude.
you know, if you want to invite 3 or 4 of your friends over to play Street Fighter the movie, I guess. I mean, the point is that I think there are ways to anchor that kind of legacy tournament, and then also maybe you have smaller ones too. But there are certainly some really big games that would still get big numbers.
Sure.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. Like, I didn't even consider like Street Fighter 4's legacy. Like, I'm thinking, I'm thinking.
Yeah, I mean, you're thinking like old
CVS
sprite-based fighting
2, MVC 2. You know,
Yeah, but I
those
mean,
kind of things.
we're at the point now where like the '09 generation that's old. That's
We were
old
just talking to
school
this
now.
ancient guy, Crofts. Did you see that guy? He's 1,000 years old.
2009.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Oh, Niner, yeah,
He
exactly.
didn't have any hair. I don't have any hair. '09ers
Oh
were
my
bald.
god, these 09ers. Yeah,
Bald
exactly.
now. Jeez,
Dude,
what
yeah,
happened?
actually, Doc Comment has a good point. Like, Exerd, KOF 13, like, you know.
Exactly.
these-
Exactly.
Tons of
Yeah.
games like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
I was thinking way too past generation, not just like the literally like the previous generation of games. Put in Persona 4 Arena, you know. I mean,
Blaze Blue still has a good scene. Like, that
yeah,
would still get a
Blaze
lot of people
Blue
there.
could because so in other words, legacy just means any of the games that were at Evo in the past and might not be there right now. I mean, Third Strike
that
would
would be Evo
definitely
Legacy.
bring a lot of people too. You know, not as much as Street Fighter 4 and stuff like that
Yeah.
because of the old man problem. But yeah, there'd be a lot of like. Can you imagine all of the old Street Fighter 4 heads being like, "Oh God, I can go back and try to win Street Fighter 4 again."
That would be great. Yeah, KOF 13 is a great
Yeah.
example of this as well. Yeah, so I do think that having an Evo Legacy would be super sick. That's what I would want. That said, if instead it's just Evo regular, but like here's our one legacy game per year, That would be
That'd be
cool.
cool.
I mean, yeah, for sure, that would be cool.
So,
too. Yeah.
I
As long
mean,
as it's Marvel 3.
what David says here, I mean, if if a Evo Legacy could pull in enough people to make it worth it, I would 100% prefer its own event. Yeah, for sure. My concern was mostly I just didn't think it could.
People wouldn't
sustain
go.
itself.
They wouldn't.
Yeah.
You're correct.
Okay.
All right, moving on.
Moving on.
Okay.
Oh boy, what a barn burner of a topic we're getting ourselves into here.
Yeah. Okay. So I didn't even know about this until you just brought it up very recently, David. Can you summarize what's the situation here?
Yeah, it was honestly just like half an hour before we went live, so it was right before. So,
Right off the press.
Yeah, it was hot off the presses. That's correct. So you guys remember Zero? He was the best Smash 4 player in the world for quite a while, and then he was a major content creator in the Smash scene. And then last year, it came out that he had admitted to basically sexting minors, and so his career was over. Basically, is just to put a fine point on it. And he took a break and he went away, and well, he's back now and he's making content again. And well, I'm just trying to be fast about it.
And well, he's back now.
I don't know. And
Emperor
so
Palpatine has returned.
he's back. Yeah, that's right. It turned out that the previous guy was irrelevant all along. He's not just back and making new content, but he's also apparently suing one of the people who talked about him and his what he admitted to at the time in terms of how he handled himself with some minors, and that is Jisu. He's suing Jisu, who's a somebody in the Smash community, artist, etc. Has quite a bit of followers and has a platform, and put up a tweet earlier today saying that this is happening, that Zero is suing her, and basically asking for a GoFundMe. These kinds of lawsuits are very expensive. I don't, to be clear, know exactly what the lawsuit is. I didn't see that it said exactly, what's the legal theory. These are the things I'm curious about. If you're the person being sued, you don't probably super care about that. So I get it. But I don't know exactly what the deal is, although it's true, it's certainly true, that lawsuits are very costly.
Yeah.
And that if it's something that you need to defend yourself against, say that he's suing for damages in some way, I mean, you defend yourself, you pay money to defend yourself, or you lose by default, and then you have to pay money as well. And, maybe you pay money to defend yourself, and you ultimately maybe if you win, you get attorney's fees back. That is to say, the other side has to pay for your attorneys, so you don't end up losing money overall. But you still spent a lot of time. It still was expensive in the meantime. If you don't have the money to pay for lawyers in the first place, you're going to be, in a much worse situation. So she's asking for a GoFundMe. Again, I don't know exactly what the legal theory is here. I would say that it seems, again, I don't know the exact details of this, except to say that Zero did in fact admit to having done this stuff, and now says that it didn't happen, and now is suing about it. That's really all the details that I have on that. In
the tweet it says, she says that, but denies it and claims that he lost his career because of her. So I guess there is, definitely is denying it, and now claims that he lost his career because of me, is what she writes in that tweet.
That is what she writes in that tweet. Yeah, just for the full text. I'm being sued by former Smash Bros. Star Zero. Last year, I used my platform to expose the sexual abuse of children. He admitted it, but now denies it and claims he lost his career because of me, not because he's a pedophile. This is what she's writing in her tweet. She says lawsuits are costly, anything helps. Again, I don't really have any insight into the facts other than what is just, commonly reported on this.
Right.
It to the extent that she believes that Zero is doing this just to harm her and to shut her up. I'm sure she has approached attorneys, but one thing to maybe look into is something called an anti-slap law. Anti-slap, yeah. It stands for Strategic Lawsuit Against Public Participation.
Oh.
And basically basically, yeah, it's just a stupid acronym that whoever made the law decided to put in there.
Right.
And this isn't something that's in every jurisdiction, but basically the idea is this person is suing me to get me to shut up. I don't have as much money as they do. I can't just like defend myself forever. So I'm going to fight back by using this tactic to try to just close it down. If I think that the person is trying to just intimidate me and make me stop exercising my First Amendment rights. So again, I don't have that much extra information about this. Sorry to hear about it. That sucks. I hope things work out okay. Man, imagine. I don't know how it's gonna work out. Okay, but and I'm sure that there are still plenty of people watching Zero's content. I don't know. You know, what can you say? I'm sure that they are still there.
No idea. I haven't looked at his channel,
Yeah,
so
I mean,
I have not either.
couldn't tell you.
I have no knowledge of the details of any of this, so I can't really comment on it or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, it's
I mean, obviously, the point of the lawsuit is in part so that people don't comment on it, right? I mean, that's the idea.
right. I mean, it's interesting though. I mean, like, because this is a common tactic, right? To sue someone who just basically can't afford to fight back, which is why a lot of the times people don't even bother, right? Like, for example, you know, former FGCTO who never paid out tournaments and stuff. Like, even if you can find him and try to sue him to get your prize money, the amount that you're going to spend is more than the prize money just to even get that,
absolutely.
right? So it's just like, it's not even worth it, right? Or
Yeah, look, in the chat, people are asking, with a public admission, though, is this something he could feasibly pull off? I mean, I don't know. I guess it just probably depends on the circumstances and the facts, and assume that will be litigated to the extent that they are going to go to litigation, and I don't have any more insight about that stuff than you guys do.
Thought you were a lawyer. Why don't you lawyer some stuff up right now? Jeez. Say some fancy law words.
De minimis.
All right.
it's a
Nailed it.
good one.
Spell it.
That's 2 words.
Oh. Spell them.
DE. It's exactly how it sounds. DEMINIMIS. It's not a complicated one.
Where was the space?
Between the D, E, and the M.
Okay.
Come on, guys. All right, we're moving on to the next one.
It could be Domini-mus. It could be Demi-nimus, right? I mean, it could have been any one of those.
You made that word up. Anyways, let's move on.
Angel.
I typed it in actually about 10 seconds ago, and it just took a while to get there. So
Whoa.
the timing wasn't ideal, but anyway, we're moving on.
Oh, that was for... Why are we using these breakers to end topics as opposed to extend topics?
Objection!
This
We're
is not
moving
how
on.
it's supposed to work.
We're gamifying the process. You know, we're trying to understand. It's an emergent
We're fighting
phenomenon.
game players.
You know, these videos are crashing my OBS, and I can't I may just have to disable it and just be like, oh, sorry, feature's gone, because we're
Objection!
Because we're
Yeah,
not using
I
it
object to
correctly.
that. This is great.
Not using Angel was revealed for KOF 15, including saying her name Angel. So now we have no excuse to be pronouncing it incorrectly at all. But I mean, this is a character that it's like she's one of those KOF waifus. It's like she's gonna show up. Kula's probably going to show up too pretty soon. But she was definitely officially revealed. However, no team was revealed with her. So apparently she didn't complete any of the teams, which means she might be the first character on the final team that is still completely unknown and rosterless, which really lends credence to a lot of different theories. Again, I know all of this because of Olaf. Like, I could say, you know, one of her most potential teammates is Nameless. And I'm sure the both of you are like, I have no idea who Nameless is.
I know who Nameless is.
I know.
I
Yeah,
play
I'm not
KOF
that much of a
13.
noob about it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. But apparently that is a very strong potential character for teammate at this point. So, which would be interesting because it would be the first canon game that he shows up in, because all the other games he was either a a clone of Tetsuo from Akira, and then got sued, and so he was redacted, and then they turned him into Nameless, which was the same moveset, but everything looked totally different with new sprites and stuff. But that was only in a Dream Match game, and so there you go.
Okay, well, I didn't know any of that stuff.
Yeah, so yeah, because he was K9999, it's K49, and he was basically just Tetsuo with Tetsuo's voice actor, and he had all of his moves, and it was supposed to be an homage, but then the people who owned Akira were like, and so they had to take him out, but he was already going to be in a game, so his name just became redacted. Like, his name is literally just redacted, I think it was. And then eventually he got put into another game, but they redrew all of his sprites, and he was just Nameless. And but that was a Dream Match. He had a story in there, but the story's not canon. And so now he might actually be canon, because since Verse died in 14 and brought back souls that were killed and all this other stuff, they're basically, KOF 15 feels like they're setting up one of those canon reboots where you could reboot the storyline, but it's like canon that it happened, you know, kind of like how they tried to do
soft reboot, yeah.
Yeah, like how they tried to do with with the new Star Trek movies, you know. Anyways, David looks
All right.
absolutely fascinated by this, but he used up his thing.
I thought she looked all right. I mean, I don't know from the deep lore that you're talking about. But as far as Angel goes, I thought she looked cool.
Yeah, she definitely seems like one of the ones that they worked on a little bit more from previous game to this game, and oh, there was something I was about to say. Oh, yeah. I mean, through Olaf's observation, it seems like they buffed her a lot, too, even though she was really strong in the previous game. So,
good.
We will see.
So Ankel seems really, really strong right now. The other interesting thing, though, is who would be the third teammate on Ankel's team, right? So it wouldn't be Maxima.
Kim
Maxima. So it wouldn't be Kim Kaplan either,
unless
Kim is probably, I mean, unless he's trying to reform her, because that's what he's trying to do. I mean, Brian Badler would be awesome, but Brian Badler, you know, he wouldn't work without his teammates here. You know, his actual teammates, Lucky Glober and Heavy D. You know, it would just be a shame if Brian Badler came back by himself here. And so, you know, what a lot of people are theorizing is...
Duck King was quite a character.
Yeah, Duck King was really cool. I think Duck King would be really cool. I think he would be... Because in 11, he even
Have you ever heard his
pants
theme?
to, like, parachute pants.
His theme is like... It's the best theme.
Yeah, it's
Duck
a really
King
good theme. It's
Can we move on? We're talking about absolutely nothing.
It's not the only KOF news that we have. There's also more.
No, wait, hang on. So the theory on Angel is that you know,
there's
the third
no Angel in this
teammate
game.
could be
Angel's not in this game.
The theory on Angel for the third character is that dude, I am really impressed by Tubo's resistance here. So because I know David would have already objected me and killed this whole thing. So
you will talk. You know, you love KOF. It's your favorite
the thing
game
is,
of all time.
If we're gaming the system, I'm trying to draw the objection out of Tubo. So I'm just gonna filibuster.
He didn't burst.
I'm gonna filibuster.
Come on, man.
I'm gonna filibuster.
And you filibustered. It's over. We're moving on.
Okay.
Zeros.
He took the combo and he didn't burst.
Yeah, I have burst. What is it? Anyways, competence. Continue on. KOF, more news.
Yep. So KOF 14, KOF 98, UMFE had a beta a while ago where they were testing the rollback netcode. People really liked it. There were bugs in it, like when you threw people, the game would crash and such. Everyone wanted more beta. And Code Mystics is like, hey, here's more beta. And so the beta's out there again. People are playing it again. Newer lobby system, newer improved lobby system, which a lot of people actually said that they really enjoy. That they think the new lobby system is really good. And so, you know, once again,
have fun, everybody.
Using the classic rollback netcode right now. which a lot of people like. In case people in the chat aren't aware of what rollback netcode is, rollback netcode is a system by which they improve the netcode so that delay-based netcode didn't work very well. And we're using rollback netcode now to try to make it so that people can play a little more well by not having inputs drop and having perfect time. All right.
Oh, we're back.
Yeah.
We're back.
We're back.
Okay.
I think we're back.
We forgot to mention this last week, even though I told people where we're going to bring it up. I even had it in the notes, and we just didn't write it down. But KOF All Stars, the mobile game on the on mobile devices, they've had like Tekken characters crossover into the game before, but now they are adding Guilty Gear characters into the game. It's like Soul, May, Ramlethal. Who else was in there? It's
Viken is
The
in
Rock.
there. Did you say
Who?
Brock?
No, The Rock is literally in that game.
Oh yeah. The Rock is in the game. Yes, The Rock is.
Brock is in
Finally
that.
saw bad guy can fight Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it was like May,
Soul,
Viken,
May, Biken,
Ram-
Dizzy, Eno, and Ramlethal are
Yeah.
being added there. So literally the main protagonist and then a bunch of waifus.
Correct.
So yeah,
May is a waifu?
basically.
I guess. I don't know.
I don't know. It's creepy kind of stuff, but I mean,
Yeah.
that's the same situation with Kula, dude. Like everyone, like Kula is a KOF waifu, and she's like 14 years old as well. So you know, it's like
All right.
Yeah.
We're on to Dungeon Fighter Duel, DNF.
oh, actually, I forgot to update this one because there
Dropped
are
a
actually-
couple of new character
Yeah,
videos. That's
there's more
right.
than one. There's more than one. That's right.
There
Remember when I
are-
had deja vu and I could have swore that I saw some videos?
Yes.
That was just a premonition now that I think about it.
That wasn't even
I
very
was just
recent.
looking right into the future. That was like a month ago or something.
Yeah, it was
Listen,
like
time is
I mean,
relative.
that is a-
unrelatedly long ago.
That is a crazy prediction. Who would have ever guessed that Dungeon Fighter would actually drop trailers for their characters? You are a genius, dude.
Guess
Like,
what,
yeah,
guys?
thank you.
There
Thank
are other trailers will come in DNF. Guess what?
You really think so, David?
Oh, I'm actually not sure. Just
God,
take a
that
stab.
that
I'm
is
actually not sure about that.
I mean, can we even call these
Impression.
trailers? They're more like teasers.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. They're very, very fast.
They
One-
barely show anything.
One for Berserker and one for Inquisitor. You basically get to see what some of their cool move animations look like. I think is really what all you can say.
Yeah.
They showed, honestly, in my opinion, pretty sick looking animations for both characters. Berserker's just a real crazy looking dude. I don't know anything about the games that he's from. My understanding is that this is like a class or something, and he looks sick. He's got crazy red eyes, and he does a bunch of like slashes. And Inquisitor at one point brings out a big wheel. I assume that she's gonna break you on the wheel. Wow, what a reference. Anyway, looks cool.
Yeah. Again, looks beautiful. Again, the scary part, the dangerous part that's, you know, I know hitting a lot of people is that Arxis's graphics are almost starting to become a little too common and it doesn't feel special anymore, you know. And
I will say though, we had that conversation last week. Then we saw Inquisitor and stuff, and I think that wheel in particular stands out to me. But I think a lot of the
Yeah.
animations in that are again somewhere in between maybe Granblue and Strive in terms of their art style. But I think they look pretty sick. So again, I think it looks cool. I'm not that upset about it. She's got like an auto defay in there or something. And she's just a lot of. She's an Inquisitor, I guess. Good luck, everybody. Yeah, looks cool.
Nintendo officially tweeted that a new patch is coming out for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. However, they have said that this is officially the final fighter adjustment. So in other words, this is it. When this patch drops and Little Mac still sucks, that he's just gonna suck for the end of time, basically.
Yep, that's
and
it.
that's it.
GG.
Until Project U comes out. And then
It's
I'm
just-
sure
I mean, a character that's designed not to be good in the air and designed not to have good recovery is just not going to be good.
Yeah,
They've
it's not going to
made
be a
that
good
choice.
Smash character.
Yeah, that's an intentional choice, obviously.
yeah. I mean,
So that's cool.
I don't know how many Smash players are in our viewer, because I know we're not the Smash people. We don't draw a lot of Smash people, but I mean, I don't know what people feel about the current state of Ultimate, right? Like, are people really happy with the way it is right now, or is it kind of wildly unbalanced, or is it just like Little Mac and I see Ridley is not very strong or something like that? So I'm
I
curious
was
what most people
talking
out
with
there
my younger
think.
brother who was home over the weekend for Thanksgiving and Hanukkah, and he plays Smash a lot. That dude's put a lot of time into Smash,
He's a
and
big old smasher, huh? Does he go to
he's
tournaments?
sometimes he does. Yeah, in fact,
Wow, you've never talked about this. You kept it a secret
really.
for 10 plus years because you're ashamed of your smasher younger brother, Ultra David. I'm glad you finally got over that and decided to publicly talk about it. Congratulations.
He's actually
Anyways,
going to be
continue on.
he's going to be running one at the school he's going to next year. So
He's the next John Crofts, dude.
he was telling me that he thinks that the game is pretty well balanced, but there are still obviously like characters that are maybe too much at the top and characters that are just bad. And then he wanted to play Smash, and I was like, all right, let's see how this goes. And I only got 4 stocked one time, so congratulations to
Oh,
me.
dang. So he's actually pretty legit now, huh?
He's pretty legit, yeah.
What's his tag? What is his gamer tag?
Ultra Ben,
Butt face.
69.
No, not what's the tag that you gave him?
Fart mouth.
Fartmouth? That's what it is? Fartmouth?
Fart mouth.
Fartmouth. I like that, actually. Is that actually his tag or no? I don't
Absolutely
No.
not.
Because I mean, from my experience hanging out with you and your brother, I mean, I would believe it if that was it. So, yeah, I was in the back seat of David's car as he was driving him and his little brother, and I think they forgot I was there, and like, it was just all fart humor. I mean, let me just tell you, dude.
I don't think they forgot. I think they totally knew
They
you were
just
there.
didn't
It's just
care.
who they
They
are
just
as
didn't
humans.
care.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what's funny
basically.
is I was driving him home from we went to the Natural History Museum, and I was driving him home, and the whole way we were driving home by ourselves, we didn't make one fart joke. We talked exclusively about economics and politics the entire way. But when there are other people around, we have to show off to them. So that's when the fart humor comes
To
in.
show off? All right.
You have to show him your modern
enough.
fart, basically, right? So
That's how it goes. Yep.
Oh,
All right.
All right.
Moving
let's fluctuate on to the
on.
next one.
Granblue Fantasy Versus. There was a tournament for this. It was the Cygames Cup, which was won by Gamera using Jita and Yule. But at this Cygames Cup, they also showcased some gameplay footage of Vira or Vira. I'm not sure how to pronounce that properly. I wish I had Ebonic Plague here. He would be able to tell me. So, but brand new character that was announced, and it was the first time that they actually got to show off some of her gameplay for that. Also, a new patch has dropped for Granblue Fantasy Versus as well. Although this one, again, mostly just a bug fix patch, so nothing really massive in terms of balance changes.
Cool.
So that's all I've got for that.
All right.
I'll post this in the chat over here. But speaking of content, someone out there, Phil Nolan, is making a documentary about Supernoon and his journey in the FGC. And apparently that comes out on Thursday, so 2 days from now. And he dropped a teaser for it, which I just posted in the link. So you guys can check that out and see some stories about Supernoon. I mean, it's interesting because, like, for me, it's like, has Supernoon been around long enough to have a documentary for? But, I mean,
Sure
honestly,
has.
yeah, he has. He absolutely has. And it's crazy to me to think that. But it is, and it's definitely a very interesting story. SoCal born, moved to the East Coast to become roommates with Sonic Fox and become one of the best, and now doing all sorts of really, really cool stuff. So that's really, really cool.
For sure. Looking forward to that.
Yeah. Let's see here. We have also the Steam Autumn Sale that is coming, that is currently going on. It has a bunch of fighting games on sale. I do believe like this is the cheapest Tekken 7 has ever been like on there, because you can actually get that and a bunch of the season passes. I mean, it's still
Wait. You're telling me I don't have to spend $120 on a collection for Tekken 7? You're telling me I can get the whole damn thing for like $50 or less? No way.
Yeah, apparently. So, well, not even $50 though. I think
It's
after you buy
$38.
all of it, for the deluxe edition, but I still think you need to buy a couple extra.
You can get the game and all
season
4 of its season passes for $38 if you buy the Ultimate Edition.
Oh,
There you
okay.
go.
There you go. Cool. Okay.
Yeah, these are $21 for Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate. Hot dang.
Yeah, there's a lot of good prices there. If you were interested in getting into the Nickelodeon All Stars, you can also grab that as well.
Cool. All right.
But that's all I've got here.
Moving on to the mailbag.
Moving on.
My favorite part, your favorite part, Jasmine's favorite part, all of our
That's
favorite
right.
parts.
That's right.
See here. Let's get the. Oh my god.
My cat was snoring so hard behind me that I could hear it through my headphones.
And I
Good boy.
even. Is this going to be the first question that may not fit on the card over here?
Uh-oh.
Not
This
gonna
is
fit
a
on the card.
long old question. Oh my god! So,
All right, do it.
Doc Helmet asks, you are lost deep in an ancient forest. After hours of wandering, you stumble across a small gnome sitting on a large toadstool. The gnome offers to give you directions out of the wood, but he asks you to answer a question that has been puzzling him for centuries. His question is this. What character from any fighting game franchise would you like to see appear as a guest character in every other fighting game franchise?
This trend of having a giant story and then the actual question is unrelated to it is probably going to keep cracking me up. Good work, everybody. What character from any fighting game franchise would I like to see appear as a guest character in every other fighting game franchise? Boy, I think it would be a bummer if one character was in every single fighting game. I'll be honest with you guys. I would much rather have every game have, I mean, not necessarily all unique lists. I'm cool with some crossovers, but if there was one that was like, it had to be by law, a law gets passed, and every single fighting game has to have this one, that's a bummer. I don't know.
I, for one, find it interesting that someone who hates copyright so much thinks it would be a bummer that a single character could be in every single fighting game.
Could be.
Because by your principles on copyright, no one should own the character, so everyone should be able to put Ryu in their fighting games.
If they want, but at some point it gets boring. I don't know.
I don't think
mean,
I don't think that's where David's objection comes from, Ryan. I think it's
Well, no,
more
of
just-
course not, but I'm just pointing out that maybe
think
copyright is okay. Maybe copyright's an okay thing sometimes, okay? That's what I'm
maybe
pointing
I'm
out.
a copyright attorney for work. Maybe that's how I make my dollars.
My answer is
You don't know.
Pikachu. I think Pikachu should be in every fighting game ever.
That was a good transition, James.
I think Pikachu is the character that needs to be in every fighting game.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just say Ryu because he almost isn't every other franchise at this point. So why not just throw Ryu everywhere?
It's probably Akuma, don't you think, is in even more than Ryu?
No, I think Ryu's in
Maybe
way more.
Chun-Li. Maybe it's probably Chun-Li. Chun-Li's in
It's
everything.
definitely
Well,
Ryu. It's definitely Ryu.
So it depends, right? I mean, Ryu's in a lot of stuff, not just fighting games.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Ryu's all over.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
I'm Electric Blanca Sub-Zero. Moving on to the next one. Yeah, that's who I want to be in every single fighting game.
Electric Blanca Sub-Zero.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Who is
Hadouken.
Electric Blanca Sub-Zero? Why is
Hadouken.
I'm Chun-Li.
why-
Chun-Li.
I-
We're moving on to the next one. What's the next topic?
I'm so confused right now. Okay.
If you know, you know.
Subatar via Discord. At WEGL 2017, Tastosis tried to commentate Tekken. If you had to commentate an RTS, which RTS would you choose? I mean,
Halo
Time.
Wars. Halo Wars 2
Yeah.
It's a good
is
answer.
what I'm going with.
Okay, sure.
It's a good answer.
Sure. I guess I would just pull the reverse Tastosis and I would
Right.
do Brood War. I myself played Brood War for a very long time. Most of a decade, to be honest, playing it and watching it. At this point, that was probably a dozen years ago now. I'm probably not in the know, but I feel like I could get back into the know pretty quickly. So that is my answer.
Is that
StarCraft
your final
War.
answer?
Shout outs to Tastosis, which they both had a huge impact on my commentary.
I would have to study it a little bit more to remember all the mechanics, but if I had to commentate an RTS, it would be Herzog Zwei. That's the one that I would do.
Yeah,
You
both
just
of
made
those
that
guys.
up. That's not even a real game.
Herzog Zwei was on the Sega Genesis. It is...
And it was the first RTS of all time ever.
Not quite. That's what a lot of people claimed, but it actually turned out that there was another game that was the first RTS ever that it might have even been Herzog, because Herzog Zwei is Herzog 2. So Herzog
Yeah, if you
Zwei
knew
is-
German, you would know that. Tubbo.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So
Moving on. Yeah, Dune. I think Dune's in the same boat where it's like it's not actually the first one, but like it's one of the founding ones.
Does
Yeah.
General Chaos on the Sega Genesis, does that count as an RTS?
I don't know.
I don't know what game that is.
You should look it up. That game was fucking sick. I love General Chaos. If that counts as an RTS, I would commentate that.
Can I be an Ice Climbers in it?
Mm, no, there's not an Ice Climbers in that game.
Oh boy!
I mean,
all
how
right,
did it
moving
make
on.
you feel? Did it make you feel happy, Chaos? Huh? Phil Rufio via Twitter asked, a balance wizard teleports you to a deserted island and asks you to balance the final patch of Smash. What would you like changed?
Make the Street Fighter character good. That's all. I just want my Street Fighter character in Smash to actually be good, but he's not. He can't recover when he's knocked off ledges. He doesn't really have effective air attacks. Instead, all he does is run back and forth, and he's got a really cool ult where he's in a wireframe, but I want a good Street Fighter character in Smash. That's all I'm looking for.
I would make Bayonetta stupid good again, just to make all the Smash players mad.
Oh
That's
boy.
yeah.
I would make it so that if you launched yourself with PK Thunder and hit somebody with that, that should be an automatic KO every time, because when you get to land that on somebody, that shit's hype. Basically, it's not as effective in 1v1 as it is in free for all. So landing that is rare, and if you land that, you should just win. You should just win.
Little Mac plays footsies. What are we doing here? Are we going on to the next one? What do we got? Come on.
I don't know.
Wait.
Investigation Cone via Twitter asks, a wizard teleports you to
Oh my God.
Arrakis
This
and
wizard's all
offers
over
you
the place.
Yeah, Jesus.
one of these to take over Spice Harvest. Which do you choose? 12 to
Oh boy, this is a David question apparently.
yeah,
All right.
let's go, David. Go.
Oh, you don't want to read it? Well, I don't know how it's pronounced.
Okay, all
either.
right,
I've
all
only
right,
ever
all
read it.
right. 12 Taleo Aksu face dancers.
Okay, well that's not what I would have gone with, but okay.
Gwilled navigators. 10 Sardaukar. 9
okay.
Mentat masters of ass inns, and
Nailed it.
5 Duenkan id aho folas or
Okay.
a Kwisatz hater with a bag of poor tigles.
Okay, all right, nailed them all. As far as I'm concerned.
Got
nice
it.
work. Nice work. By the way, portigals are oranges. Oranges, everybody. Oranges. What was the question?
I don't know.
Wizard teleports you to Arrakis and offers you one
buddy.
of these to take over Spice
who-
Harvest.
Who's going to be doing the spice harvest? Okay, very good. Well, it's not going to be the guild navigators, who I'm not convinced can actually walk. They might be so deformed at this point that they're just going to be stuck and can't actually do that very effectively. 10 Sardaukar would be great. They're fantastic. 9 Mentat masters of assassins, I think they could be great bean counters, but they're probably not the people I would choose to actually do the Spiced Harvest itself. Only 5 Duncan Idaho Golas. I think I would go with the 10 Sardaukar. The 12 Tlaylox Face Dancers, I think, are obviously very, very useful in a ton of different ways. And there's more of them than the Sardaukar, so maybe they'd be great. But, I think I'm going to go with the Interstellar Blood Cult Warrior Emperor Fanatics.
Which ones are those?
Well, obviously, you know the answer to that. What a silly question, James.
Sorry. I mean, I'm testing you. I'm testing you, David.
Yeah, I know, but you're a wily one. Oh,
I know, right? Tricky. Trajan Viridis via Twitter asks, Miles, Ajax, Nathan, and Jasmine are all fighting game characters. Based on their personality and physicality, what archetype are they? Would you play them? Bonus, are Nathan, Jasmine ice climbers? No. Nathan and Jasmine are not ice climbers because if they were on the same team, they would be knocking each other off the platform and destroying each other. Nathan and Jasmine do not get along, so.
Well, Miles would be a hulking beast brawler type, absolute destroyer of worlds. I don't think people know this, but my cat hates everyone but me. And I don't mean he runs away from them. I mean, like, he attacks people. I bring guests into my home and he bites them. He hates other humans. He loves me to death. I mean, you guys see me on stream, I pick him up. He's fine. He loves me. He cuddles me every day. Every other human, every other animal, he wants them dead. They are his enemy. So yeah, he would be like probably
Blanca.
No, I think he'd be more like an Abigail. That's the big dumb. I'm gonna crush you. Like, I mean, look, just absolute monster. But based on his personality,
he has to be a Street Fighter character, right? Because we said that Street Fighter had no lore and Miles has no tail. So I feel like he definitely has to be a Street Fighter character.
For sure, absolutely.
Yeah,
I like that. Bars.
Nice work,
David.
Nice work. Okay, I think that Ajax.
So they didn't list Lyra in the.
There's no.
Yeah, Lyra got bodied.
Lyra's taking the day off. Yeah, she's a zoner. Lyra's a zoner. She likes when you come to her in some situations, but only when she wants to be petted. Otherwise, she wants to just kind of keep her distance a little bit. That's cool. Nathan is a grappler, of course. Nathan. Ajax is a grappler, of course. He can't get enough snuggles with everybody. I brought over a couple of friends just recently. Me and Saltine came over, and Marine came over. And the very first time that they met Ajax, he walked up to them right away and was just snuggling them. And
he's
extremely snuggly. He will never say no to getting up close and getting picked up and yada yada. So he needs to be next to you. He wants to give you hugs all the time. He's a grappler.
Yeah. Jasmine would definitely be kind of a hit and run zoner kind of character. Like every time anyone tries to, like Nathan tries to pounce on her, she just runs away. Whenever she attacks something, she's always like, and then runs away. And then she's just like really kind of like in and out kind of thing. So she's definitely a hit and run character and does not want to be next to you.
A chip, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Chip has good mix-ups and wants to be close. It's weird. She would have to be more of like one of those half zoners that is in Street Fighter 5 these days, you know what I mean? So kind of like a Rose. Like I would imagine almost like a Falk kind of thing, zoning you, but poking with a towards heavy punch kind of thing. Nathan, he would be that weird gimmick character that just doesn't make any sense. I mean, he'd probably be like a Fuerte or something because I don't know what the hell that cat's doing, and he's just ginormous and
he's a big cat.
Yeah, he's a big fat boy. So, but I mean, the thing about it is he would be like Hugo, right? Because he's ginormous and he just attacks you in weird ways. But all he really wants to do is just be a potato.
Yeah, that actually is a great Great Nathan call. Yep.
I think
He
that's
just wants to be a potato.
yeah, because that is definitely what he wants to do. So
All right, and we got our last question coming up now, and it is.
Taffy Turnip via Discord says, a raccoon steals the cookies you are looking forward to today, making you very sad. Unrelated completely, a turnip then asks you what your favorite non-electronic sport to watch is.
Oh, geez. Well, let me first of all say that I have a ton of cookies from Thanksgiving. I got all sorts of cookies left
Dude,
over. I got all sorts of pies left over.
That picture,
And you've given James none.
that
Correct.
picture of the lemon cheesecake.
Oh,
like,
so good.
Oh God, yeah. Like you were like, yes, it was good. I was like, that's not the part that was in question. I'm 100% positive it was amazing.
It was great, and we had this, and it was great, and we had this, and it was great.
Yeah,
the David
we sure
tweet.
did. We sure did. Those are by my dad. The cookies and the cheesecake are actually by him.
Oh,
And
really? Nice.
yeah, he. Those are the only two things that he bakes, and he knocks them out of the park.
Now,
man. Even my professional baker,
That's what I was about to ask.
she loves the cheesecake. She's a huge. She thinks it's excellent cheesecake. So that's high praise.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah,
Anyway,
no,
what was the
recipe
question?
might be useful. So
Oh boy. What is my favorite non-electronic sport to watch? Well, time was when I was into sports, it was hockey. I was a really, really big hockey fan. Now, I guess knowing what time of year it is, there's probably hockey going on, but that's the most that I can say about it. My second is football, specifically college football, but same thing. It's probably college football season right now. It's probably towards the end of the year, I guess. Yeah. Okay. That's all I got for you.
Who knows what time of year it is at this point? So, I mean, for me, it was always basketball. I got into the Lakers right at the tail end of Magic Johnson era. I mean, the year that I started watching was the year that he left due to HIV. James Worthy was like him and like Byron Scott were like the only ones left. So I went through the Lakers dark ages with like Sedale Threed and Nick Van Exel,
yeah,
Eddie Jones, who was my favorite.
Eddie
Laker.
Jones was sick,
dude. When he got traded, I punched my fridge and I almost broke my hand, dude. Like I was that mad that Eddie Jones got traded.
Not that serious.
And then, of course, Kobe and Shaq joined the team, and then that was like it. Like I just became the crazy Laker fan. And then, honestly, like my basketball career kind of disappeared when Kobe stopped playing, really, and I just kind of stopped watching, and I just really haven't cared as much. During that, towards the tail end of that, I was actually watching mostly tennis. I've always been a tennis fan. In fact, I had the tennis channel. It was one of the only reasons why I had cable, because I used the tennis channel as my Twitch. I just had it on in the background whenever I was doing anything. I just had it on because it was a great background thing to have. And I love tennis to death. But then my cable company dropped the tennis channel out of the package that I had, so I canceled cable completely. So...
Well, unlike these two nerds, I still watch sports. I like football. I used to be a very, very big football fan. I used to have aspirations to coach football professionally. Didn't really know what level, but that's what I wanted to do for a living for a long time. Mm-hmm. Probably like age 8 to 20 something. So I know football at a pretty deep level. I really like basketball. Go Bulls. Bulls are super exciting this year. And I mean, I really love hockey. I think hockey is the best sport. I think hockey is the ultimate sport, ultimate team sport. Mm-hmm. But I'm a Blackhawks fan, and they are a terrible organization to follow, both in skill and the fact that they covered up a sexual harassment thing for like 12 years. And those teams are the teams that I love the most because they won 3 Stanley Cups. So it's really tainted my view on hockey to the point where I think I don't give a shit about hockey anymore.
That sucks.
But I used to really care about hockey.
It's crazy because, like, honestly, if you, like, I liked hockey, but I'll tell you this, if you guys haven't ever had a chance to do so, and I'm sure most people haven't, go see a live hockey game. Your appreciation of hockey just skyrockets because you don't, like, if you come from basketball, Like, you don't realize that these guys are rotating off the bench like every 5 minutes because it's fucking
Oh,
tiring.
way less than that.
Doing
Hockey rotation is about
Under a
45
minute.
seconds.
Yeah,
It's about
yeah.
45 seconds. A very long rotation is like a
Right.
minute 15.
Yeah,
And
you
then
don't breathe while you're out there.
Yeah, and then when you see the passing angles and stuff like that live, it is ridiculous. It's beautiful, dude.
It's the best in-person sport. I absolutely
Yeah.
agree with that. I mean, I love watching
Yeah,
it
it's an
from
incredible
home
sport.
too, but yeah,
It's like night and day, honestly. And
I love it regardless, but I certainly think that it's the best in person. Yeah.
yeah. No, when I say night and day, that's not me saying that watching it on TV is bad either. It's just like, it's great, but then you watch it in person and you're like, holy shit, I had no idea this is how it works. So it was really crazy. It was really cool because my manager at work was a big Kings fan. He had season tickets, and so for a ship party one year, he got a box seat for our team, and so we actually got to go watch the Kings. I think they were going up against the Nashville Predators because they were a crappy team, so the tickets were always cheaper. So, I think of all the live hockey games I've seen the Kings play, I think 3 of them were against the Nashville Predators for some strange reason. because
They were bad for a long time.
yeah.
So.
Yeah, they've been pretty good recently, though.
Yeah.
No, hockey is one of the most tiring sports out there because the amount of push and glide and back and forth.
Dude,
Because
it's like anaerobic. Like it's not.
Yeah.
It's you honestly you breathe. I'm exaggerating saying that you don't breathe, but like also you're barely breathing. Like you're giving maximum effort for like the under the minute that you're out there.
yeah, and you don't see that on TV. And the problem is because if you're casual, everyone's wearing the face masks and stuff. You
you're not
can't
gonna
recognize the difference of them rotating out constantly. But like sometimes you'll see someone dump a puck to the other side, and you're like, "What are you doing?" It's because everybody
so you can
is
switch lines.
exhausted, and it's like, please,
have to
can
push
we
lines.
switch? It's really cool. It was really eye opening for me. Honestly, I thought it was amazing. So.
Cool, man. All right. Well,
We did it.
Happy Hanukkah to everybody who cares about
Yeah.
that. I hope
Still
everybody
no
else
invite.
is doing all right. No, buddy, I'm sorry. After what you did,
I don't even know what you're talking about.
you think you're going to be invited to my Hanukkah?
I would hope so.
After you brought what you brought?
What did I bring?
Yeah, I thought you wouldn't remember. Boy,
You're just making things up.
what an embarrassing night. I couldn't believe it.
I mean, I hope everybody had a great holiday weekend if you do celebrate Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And of course, it was an awesome. I had a Friendsgiving. It's one of the first times I'd seen a lot of those guys in 2 years. And honestly, the first Friendsgiving I think I've had in like 10 years or something like that. So it was really cool just to see a lot of people. And I was, it was really, really cool. It was like Filipino Man was there, Stupendous was there, Sherry, and, Kat. It was really cool seeing all those, the old faces again. So.
Hey, thanks for hanging out, Slayer.
Oh,
Good work out there. You're doing great stuff.
Yeah, we were doing questions.
Right.
We have people submit questions early, Slayer. So
Oh,
get in on that
Send
next time.
a tweet in or something. Yeah, exactly. All right, cool. Thanks a lot for hanging out, everybody. Tubbleware's gonna go play Halo.
Sure am.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna go watch Carl Sagan 42, and James is gonna have breakfast.
Basically, I'm actually curious though if the Teppen is actually going down on, because like I've at the highest ranked Teppen I've ever been. I've been trying to get to freaking 2,000 points. Nope, it's going maintenance now, so the season is over. Because I was thinking about actually just streaming my last ditch effort to try to get to 2,000 points, and I could not do it. So
The recent video he did with Jelly Mario, I could barely breathe. It was so funny for me. I highly recommend it. Oh my god!
Good night, everyone.
this is not a topic. You can't actually do that.
Good night, everyone.
That's not
I like
allowed.
it.
3, 2, 1, go!
So now I get 2 minutes here to close out the stream however way I want now. That is how we're gaming this season. Yeah, because it's not a topic. Yeah, we're not allowed to interrupt each other during a topic. But see, this is not a topic, right? So we can do whatever we want. So now I can talk for an entire